Chapter 51. Why are you arresting me, Grandma? Stop it, Grandma. At this time, Junsha and a group of policemen are arresting Nastana, and Nastana is constantly struggling with this. Think carefully about what you have done. Now keep silent. I just want better development, Grandma. That's a super luxurious water and underwater park, Grandma. Everyone felt relieved when they saw Nastana being taken away. After all, she was the one who caused this incident. Previously, Junsha and the police officers had gone down to help fight Tentacle and the others at the reminder of the Continental Hotel. Now that time was up, it was time to catch Nastana, the culprit. Ash was not feeling well either, because he was surrounded by his Poké copyright Monday. Melodic was clinging to Ash, Gyarados was rubbing against him, and Macamp Nidoking was ready to give Ash a hug. Okay everyone, I know you like me very much, but now I have something important to do, so Melodic, please stop bothering me. Beautiful. Although she wanted to continue pestering Ash, since Ash had spoken, she could only reluctantly let go of Ash. Ash smiled and touched her head and said, okay, I have a task for you later. Once you complete it, I will take you on a trip. Beautiful. Melodic was happy again when he heard Ash say that, and then the giant Onyx and the others also removed the defense network after making sure everything was safe. Thanks, man. Ash patted the giant Onyx's body, and the giant Onyx smiled and rubbed against Ash. Then Ash looked at everyone and said with a smile, the incident has been perfectly resolved. Ash. Seeing that Ash was safe and sound, Xiaojur and the others hugged him excitedly. Although there were a lot of people around, Ash himself enjoyed it very much. Professor Oak and Xiaogang were observing the Poké copyright Monday that Ash called over. Oh my. The Magi Carp that Ash took care of back then has evolved into a Gyarados, and there's also a giant Onyx. Professor Oak knew a little bit about what Ash had done over the years, but he didn't expect Ash to actually make a bunch of Gyarados. And Brock looked at the bunch of rock-type Poké copyright Monday that Ash had called over and said, are these all Ash's Poké copyright Monday? They're all very strong. Although I don't want to admit it, Ash is a very popular Poké copyright Monday. He has been raising these Poké copyright Monday since he got rich. Gary explained to Xiaogang that he was very surprised. Then he touched a graveler beside him and said, if you really count, he actually has a lot of totem Poké copyright Monday, but he asked all of them to protect Aunt Delia. Really? So Ash is that powerful. Now that the matter has been resolved, the next step is to reward your Poké copyright Monday. When Xiaogang saw the mainland hotel sending truckloads of the highest quality pet Poké copyright Monday food, he couldn't help but complain, only Ash is so rich that he can afford to raise them. The scene of hundreds of Poké copyright Monday eating together was spectacular, but the scene on the other side was even more terrifying. At this time, the giant Tentacruel had been released by Ash and was being carried by the giant Drago Knight, while Ash stood on his nose and held his head up and said, boy, are you convinced now? Woo woo. I give in. Master, I give in. Boss, he said he gave in. Very good, listen carefully. As long as you behave, I won't do anything to you. But if you don't, I will let you know how sour and cool my original moves are. Woo woo. Don't worry, boss. I'll definitely be good. Looking at the Pikachu on Ash's shoulder staring at him, Tentacruel didn't dare to go crazy anymore. Good boy. When everything was settled, Cynthia and Sunday were going to take Ash's boat to the private airport, so everyone had to say goodbye here. Nana, take my Melodic with you first. During this time, she will teach your Melodic some of my tricks, which will be very helpful to your Melodic. Ash said as he patted Melodic's head, and Melodic understood his mission and rubbed Cynthia. Cynthia did not shirk this matter. After all, their relationship did not need such empty talk. So she took Melodic's Poké copyright ball and said, thank you, Ash. I will take good care of her during this time. After that, she suddenly kissed Ash, and Ash gladly accepted the kiss from his fiancé copyright E. When the two separated, Cynthia blushed and said, I'm leaving now. Ash, take care of yourself. Then she ran away. Sunday patted Ash on the shoulder and said, I'm leaving now too. Thank you for your help, and you were really handsome before. After that, he kissed Ash on the face and ran onto the boat. Finally, after everyone said goodbye, Sunday and Cynthia left on the boat, and at the same time, the boat that Professor Oak and his team were on was also about to depart. I won't bother you anymore, Delia Daisy, I'm going to board the boat first. Professor Oak was very self-aware and didn't act as a light bulb. He said this and boarded the boat first, while Delia looked at Ash and said, don't do such dangerous things next time. I see, I'm sorry for making you worry. Although I'm happy to see your current achievements, you are the most important, so Ash must protect himself. After saying that, Delia hugged Ash and left the time to Daisy. Ash looked at Daisy and felt a little embarrassed, because Daisy was his first fiancé copyright E, but it seemed that his first time was given to Jur. Daisy smiled at Ash, then threw herself into Ash's arms and said in a low voice, what you said before was really cool. It's great to be cherished by you. You are all my most precious treasures. Well, I'll be waiting for you in Pallet Town, Ash. And you're going to meet Sabrina next, so be careful not to get turned into a doll. Ah, I know, Sabrina is actually a very nice person, she's just too lonely. Sabrina, I'll leave it to you. Daisy then kissed Ash goodbye and left. Ash snapped his fingers as he watched the two cruise ships begin to leave. Then Gyarados Tentacle and the Whale Ords guarded the two cruise ships. Lao Bao. Their safety is in your hands. I'll make you the ultimate grilled fish when we get back. Roar. Be at ease, boss. Ash never lets down his guard when it comes to the safety of the people he cares about. Chapter 52. Hee hee hee. Hee 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 hee. Ash and Daisy looked at each other helplessly while Misty was humming a song by the pool. Yellow was curiously watching Ash's Pikachu paying attention to his hill. Brock silently watched the telepathic gaze between Ash and Daisy, shedding tears of a single man. At this time, Ash and his companions were on the sea of a Euro Golden City on Ash's Ningai. Misty, although I know you are very happy to have tamed Horsa and Tentacle, you have been doing this for a long time, isn't it enough? Ash looked at Misty speechlessly as she walked without recognizing any relatives. He was really afraid that she would be beaten, so he could only remind her. Misty smiled and picked up Horsa in the pool, turned around and said, but Horsa is so cute. Plus, I tamed Tentacle. Oh, it's simply heaven. Oh, that's it, be careful not to get hit. Then, Xiaojue, let me tell you, our family's self-created electric tricks are absolutely perfect in combat. Xiao Huang, you should also let Kaihokyo learn it. Although you may not be able to use Bayo, the lightning field is still possible. With the lightning field, your own electric tricks will be greatly enhanced. Xiaojue and Xiao Huang were dazzled when they looked at Ash's functional notebook. It was a simple foolproof instruction book, but because of that, it was written in great detail. Well, I think it's better for my Poké Copyright Monday to learn your ultimate volt now. After all, my Zeep has better collision ability. Xiaojue did not blindly listen to Ash's ideas, but made a choice based on her own situation. Ash also respected Xiaojue's choice, so he turned to the ultimate volt page and said, Ultimate volt is indeed suitable for Zeep. After all, as long as it hits the enemy, it can paralyze the enemy, and then you can salvation attack. But if possible, it is better to cooperate with the rapid electro ball. Xiaohuang's Kaihokyu and your Guide Imalga are very suitable. Ah Ash, please look over here. Seeing Ash surrounded by beauties, Xiao Gang shed tears of a single man again. Why? Ash's summer is so fulfilling, but I... Xiao Gang looked at Xiaojue who had been hugging Ash's arms. Why is Miss Kamisl getting married? Wah. Looking at Xiao Gang, the brothers who had been keeping an eye on him for a long time would never let him harass other tourists, so a muscular man directly called Macamp next to him to come and force him. Sorry, we will take this over young guy way. Come on, little brother, the exercise room is waiting for you. No. Ash, save me. However, compared to Xiao Gang who was asking for help, Ash said that it is better to be with beautiful women. Although Xiaojue and Misty Xiaohuang may have unpleasant figures, it doesn't matter. He will help them in the future. There are plenty of traditional Chinese medicine prescriptions. Behind the Ningguai, the three members of Team Rocket were lying in the bathtub together while crossing the sea, and Ash simply asked his men to turn a blind eye to their behavior. Jessie, hey, why do we have to suffer here, kids? They can have fun and eat well on the boat. James, I guess that's because he owns the ship. Meowth, hey, it would be nice if there were fish, meow. Just as Meowth said this, a big fish was thrown over, and Meowth was a little dazed as he looked at Ash who threw the fish to him. Eat meow, I just remembered some things from the past meow. Thank you. Wait. Jessie James, this is my fish. And it's raw. Jessie, it doesn't matter if it's raw or not, as long as it's edible. James, if nothing works, light a fire. Open your mouths, meow. In this atmosphere, Ash and his group finally arrived at the harbor of Maiden Gorge. However, after arriving at the harbor of Maiden Gorge, Ash kept staring at a huge rock because he seemed to hear the voice of a girl. Finally, you are back, Master Alan. Hey, you're not targeting me, are you? Ash still had some impression of Maiden's Gorge. There were thousand-year-old Ghastlies here, and this ghost of Maiden's Gorge really existed. Master Aram, I am glad to see you again. Hatefully Euro. When Ash heard the name Alan, his head suddenly exploded. The severe pain made Ash hold his head in pain. Seeing this, Xiaojue immediately supported Ash and asked, Ash, are you okay? It's okay, I just have a sudden headache. Let's go to the Poké Copyright Monday Center first. Chansey, help me press it. After saying that, Ash fainted, and Chansey immediately held Ash's head. Pakapi. Brother Ash. Ash a Euro boss. Come and help. At Meowth's call, Ash was quickly sent to the baby center by his subordinates for Joy to treat him. When Joy came out, Misty and Xiaohuang were waiting there with great concern. Nurse Joy Ash / how is brother Ash? *3 Seeing how concerned Xiaojue and the others were about Ash, Joy smiled and said, don't worry, he just needs to get some sleep. He is healthy physically and mentally. It's possible that he was stimulated by something exciting? No, it was fine before. Xiaojue was a little surprised, considering that they were staying with Ash. At this moment, Ash suddenly kicked the door open and walked out and said, although I don't know what the situation is, I'm fine now. Let's go. To the temple fair. I feel that the temple fair can help me find the answer. Although Ash said this, Xiaojue grabbed Ash and said, from now on you must be in our sight. That's right, since you were unconscious just now, we have to watch you now. Misty also agreed with Xiaojue's point of view, but she didn't know that her behavior had already made a relationship clear in the eyes of the employees of the Continental Hotel. And Xiaohuang directly grabbed Ash's hand and said, hold your hand, so that brother Ash won't get lost. Afterwards, Ash was carried out while Pikachu and the others looked at him with amusement. Chapter 53. The temple fair in Maiden Gorge was very lively, with all kinds of things on sale, and Ash, the ultimate rich man, also made his move at this time. Misty liked a small trinket. Buy. Xiaohuang took a look at a handicraft. Buy. Xiaojue liked a Pikachu doll. Buy. Anyway, Ash would buy anything that Stephanie liked, and because of this, Ash and others became the most popular people in the store. There was nothing they could do, because this guy was a big shot. Meowth, do you feel like we've forgotten something? I don't know, meow. Can you give me 5 more skewers of fish, boss? No problem, boss, 5 more skewers. Okay bro. Just when Ash and his friends were having fun, a voice called out to Ash. Wait a moment, little brother. Old lady, what can I do for you? Ash turned around and saw the old lady from Ghastly Roleplay. The old lady was looking at Ash's appearance carefully with the magnifying glass and even smelled Ash's scent. That's impossible, is it really you? I say, old lady, what's wrong with you? Ash was speechless as he watched Ghastly observing him. Could it be that Ghastly liked looking at handsome guys? After Ash reminded her, the old lady finally realized what was happening and said, "Young man, it's not me who's in trouble, but you who's in trouble. I can see bad things, and you've been targeted now. Remember what I said, be careful of beautiful women." Upon hearing what the old lady said, Ash immediately picked up Xiao Huang and moved a little away from Xiaojue and Misty. "My wife and Misty are going to do something bad to me. Is it true that cute little yellow is the most reassuring?" After Ash said this, Xiao Huang blushed a little, while Xiaojue and Misty pinched Ash's soft flesh with red faces and said, "What do you mean we will do bad things to you?" Asterisk 2. Although they said so, Xiaojue and Misty were in a good mood. After all, they were called beautiful women by Ash. However, the old woman from Ghastly Roleplay looked at the dazzling flash bomb in silence. "Damn, I don't like eating dog food." Then he walked away silently. Although Ash was puzzled as to why Ghastly came after him, he thought that this guy was a good person so he didn't think much about it. Afterwards, Ash and his friends finally met Xiao Gang, but Xiao Gang looked a little dazed. Although they were puzzled as to what was wrong with Xiao Gang, they saw that he was fine so they continued to walk around. Then the highlight came. Ash and his friends came to a fortune teller to listen to the legend of Maiden Gorge. Open. The legend of the Maiden Shrine has been passed down for 2,000 years. Please enjoy it carefully. The fortune teller unfolded a picture of a girl and showed it to everyone. When Ash saw the picture, his head hurt again, but it soon passed. But Xiao Gang, who looked dazed before, and James from Team Rocket were completely fascinated. If the fortune teller hadn't pressed their faces, Ash doubted whether they would have licked him. The fortune teller pressed their faces and said, "This girl is the one from Maiden Rock, who lived 1,000 years ago." Thousands of years ago. Yes, it was a long time ago, when there were no Poké copyright balls. The girl had a man she loved deeply, but the man left for something more precious. The girl kept waiting for that man, hoping that he would come back, but the man never came back. The fortune teller couldn't help but stop talking here, and Ash raised his hand and asked, "So what is the so-called more precious thing?" "It's the world." "The world?" "Domination of the world." Ash was a little surprised to hear this, and Ash's question resonated with everyone, but the fortune teller shook his head and said, "No, that man loved this world so much that he sacrificed himself for the world and brought peace." Ash became interested after hearing this. This seemed different from the plot he remembered. Could it be that his memory was confused? Just as Ash was thinking this, the fortune teller said, "That man is actually very famous. He is the brave Alang of the wave. He and his Lucario stopped the war, but the price was his own life." When he was about to dissipate, God once asked him why he made such a choice, and the man just smiled and answered God, "Because I really love this world, so what if I give my life for my love?" "Oh, the hero Aaron from Bo? But isn't that a fake name?" Xiaojue seemed to know something about it, so she told the fortune teller what she knew, and the fortune teller nodded and said, "That's right, no one knows Aaron's real name. There is also a legend that Aaron was brought by God, and finally God let Aaron go back. Who knows all this? But since you know so much about it, I will take out the well-preserved portrait of Aaron. It was preserved by Poké Copyright Monday in a special way." As the fortune teller said this, he took out a portrait of a man. However, after seeing the portrait, Xiaojue and the Rockets were all stunned. Ash brother brat. Asterisk. And that's right. Aaron's appearance is exactly what Ash looks like now, except that he's wearing a different hat. However, rather than saying it's his current appearance, it's better to say it's the contest condition after putting on a suit, because the unique sense of maturity that comes from the portrait is only present when Ash changes his clothes. Ash looked at the portrait and couldn't help but say, he is indeed quite handsome, but it's a pity that he is a fool who doesn't value his own life. Hearing what Ash said, the fortune teller was not angry, but said meaningfully, "Maybe you are right, he is indeed a fool." In the end, everyone still didn't figure out what was going on, but the fortune teller did tell Ash that they could go to Maiden Rock to have a look. However, when Ash and his friends went to Maiden Rock, nothing happened to Ash, but instead, Xiao Gang and James wanted to get closer to Maiden Rock like they were possessed, which made Ash, Xiaojue and the others very helpless. Chapter 54. Hey, Xiao Gang, it's almost time to go back. There are no mainland hotels here. We have to stay at the Poké Copyright Monday Center. After Ash, Xiaojue and the others came back from playing happily, they discovered that Xiao Gang had been looking at the girls rock the whole time. "It's okay, I'm an adult, so don't worry about me." Xiao Gang didn't even turn his head, and kept staring at the girl. Seeing this, Ash, who was already used to Xiao Gang's situation, could only say speechlessly, "You talk as if you have gotten rid of your virginity. Plan." Xiao Gang was so devastated by Ash's words that he couldn't get up again, while Xiaojue walked back with a red face, pinching Ash's ear. "Really? You have no shame?" Misty covered Xiao Wang's ears and yelled, "Don't say these things in front of Xiao Huang." Then the group went to the Poké Copyright Monday Center noisily. After delivering dinner to Xiao Gang in the evening, Ash reminded Xiao Gang, "Don't watch too late, I always feel that something is wrong here." Ash took out another sheet and handed it to Xiao Gang, saying, "Here you go, it's cool at night, don't catch a cold, go back early, there is really something wrong here." For some reason, Ash always felt like he was being watched. Xiao Gang said as he ate, "Don't worry, I'm fine. I'll just watch for a while." Seeing Xiao Gang like this, Ash could only look at Meowth helplessly and then go back. "Meowth, I always feel like someone is watching me, and that feeling is definitely not from Poké Copyright Monday." Meowth heard what Ash said and jumped onto Ash's shoulder and began to observe the surroundings. He then took out an instrument and began to detect. Finally, he shook his head and said, "No response, boss. There's no one around, meow." "Really? Maybe I made a mistake. Let's go back. Sister Xiaojue and I have some things to do tonight." Ash couldn't hide his smile while Meowth looked at his boss speechlessly. In the end, by 11 p.m., the Poké Copyright Monday Center's curfew time, Brock still hadn't returned, but Ash chose to accompany his wife, thinking that Brock could take care of himself. "Pikachu, I condemn your behavior of putting women before friends, but since it concerns your future happiness, I will not say more." I allow you to go find Xiao Wang's hill, but you must let Meowth watch you. Pika. I would have believed it if you weren't holding little Juer horizontally. Pikachu looked at Ash, who was holding Daisy in a princess hug, sighed that he valued love over friendship, and went to find Kaihokyu happily. Ash locked the door and immediately started his own night life. The next morning, Ash needed to bring breakfast to Juer because she was very tired yesterday. Joy smiled and said it was great to be young while preparing some food to replenish her energy. Ash remembered something only after Xiao Juer got up. By the way, where's Xiao Gang? I don't know. I just got up. You tossed me around all night last night and I'm still a little tired. Seeing that there were not many people around in the morning, Xiao Juer spoke very bluntly, causing Misty to quickly cover Xia Huang's ears, while Ash silently massaged her shoulders and said, "Thank you for your hard work last night." Ash, please don't say that in front of Yellow. Plan. Luckily, I asked Meowth to put a transmitter on Xiao Gang. Now we just need to find him. Zaiji, who had a bag on his head, took the transmitter and held Xia Huang's hand to lead everyone to find Xiao Gang, while Misty and Xiao Juer followed behind, trying to hold back their laughter. Brother Ash, is there really a ghost? Huang is still young, so she is still a little afraid of ghosts. Seeing Wang's frightened look, Ash slightly squeezed her hand and said, "Since there are even ghost Poké copyright Monday, it's normal for humans to have ghosts. But it's okay, it's daytime now, and normal ghosts won't come out in broad daylight." With Ash's comfort and the warmth from Ash's palm, Xiao Huang felt much more at ease. Then, with the help of Meowth's reconnaissance tool, Ash and his 3 companions came to the previous temple of the girl. "Is it in there?" "That's right, Meow." "Xiao Gang. Wake up. I'm going. Sorry to bother you." When Ash pushed open the door, the scene in front of him was extremely horrifying. Xiao Gang and James were hugging each other and chewing each other, and they were enjoying it. So Ash immediately closed the door. "Oh my god, this is so exciting. Is Xiao Gang finally going to give up his big sister and like men?" Misty and Huang looked at Ash in a strange way, then Misty asked, "What's going on? Isn't Xiao Gang here?" "Not only are they here, but they are with James. Let's not disturb them. They are living well now. It's too much for the eyes. Come on, Xiao Juer, Misty, Xiao Huang, let me see for a while. I need to purify my eyes." Upon hearing Ash's words, Jessie Meowth, who had been looking for James, jumped out and rushed towards the temple. "James, we are here to save you." "Wow." As Jessie opened the door of the temple, the shocking scene inside made her scream, and Ash quickly protected Misty and Huang behind him to prevent James from being caught in the affair and launching a self-destruct attack. But Ash's worries were unnecessary. Xiao Gang and James looked at each other and hugged each other. Seeing this, Ash turned around and said to Chansey, "Chansey, double slap." Lucky I 1/4. Chansey grabbed Xiao Gang and James and slapped them hard, making a loud slapping sound. After both of them had their faces swollen, she finally made them smelling salts. "Ah. I'm Xiao Gang. I'm James, from Team Rocket." Seeing that the 2 people's faces were swollen but finally recovered, they breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, the old woman came out and said, "Sure enough, the thing I worried about happened." Watching Ghastly coming over, Ash thought for a moment, and then an idea began to come to him. Chapter 55. What Ghastly told Ash next was nothing more than the story of the so-called haunted girl, and Ash knew that all of this was just Ghastly's way of keeping the legend of Maiden's Gap alive. As Ash watched the show, Ghastly took out a bunch of talismans and said, "If you want to avoid trouble, use my talismans. But I'll charge for them. I'll take all the talisman papers you have. Tell me, do you want to pay by card or cash?" When Ghastly saw Ash's black card, he felt a strong sense of wealth. "Thank you for your patronage." Then Ash and his 4 friends, as well as Meowth Jessie from Team Rocket, started to stick talismans on the shrine. Since Ash bought a lot, almost the entire shrine was covered with talismans. Brock and James were also stuck like mummies. At night, Ash and his friends hid in the shrine and watched Xiao Gang and James, waiting for the so-called girl ghost to appear. Will it appear? Misty looked at the time and was a little worried that she was being deceived. Xiao Juer also looked at the watch and said, "It's almost late at night. If it's a ghost, it should appear." Ash, who was now standing in front of Misty and Yellow in a protective posture, said, "Charmeleon Squirtle Bulbasaur, watch out for the back, Chansey Meowth Growlithe, watch out for the right, PK Chokerla, watch out for the middle, Team Rocket, watch out for our left, this way we can prevent sneak attacks. Little ghost, please don't be so scary, okay Meow? Yeah, you put a lot of pressure on us." As they were talking, a strong wind blew up, and the flickering candlelight was soon extinguished. Only Charmeleon's tail provided the cal for everyone, and then the grey-white ghost of the girl appeared. "I miss you so much. I really miss you." Upon seeing this, Ash immediately shouted, "It appears." Super bright light. As Ash yelled, everyone took out their flashlights and shone them at Ghost. Ghost felt uncomfortable with the light, so he controlled Xiao Gang and James and ran away. "Don't even think about it. Bulbasaur uses rattan weaving. Bring them back." Seed. Bulbasaur's wickerwork brought Xiao Gang and James back directly, and then Ash looked at Ghost and said, "It's about time, I think you should reveal your identity." As he said that, Ash took out the Poké copyright dex and pointed it at Ghost, and the Poké copyright dex instantly said, "Ghastly, Ghost Poké copyright Monday." Seeing that he had been exposed, Ghastly no longer hid but revealed his true form. "So you guessed it, that's right. Sometimes I'm a fortune teller, sometimes I'm an old woman, sometimes I'm a young ghost, I'm Ghastly." Looking at Ghastly who had revealed his true form, Ash said to Team Rocket, "Team Rocket, it's time for you to retaliate. The rest is up to you." Team Rocket, who was originally planning to look at Ash, was stunned for a moment, then Jessie pointed at herself and asked, "Us?" "That's right. Can't you see that I can't free my hands?" Ash said as he glanced at his arms. Ash really couldn't free his hands now, because Xiao Juer, Misty and Xiao Huang were hiding in Ash's arms because of Astonish just now, and Ash was also protecting them very considerately. Okay Meowth, go ahead. What? Me? What do you think? Come on. With Jessie's kick, Meowth flew directly to Ghastly, and Ghastly said with a smile, Meowth, since it's a cat, then use a dog. Ghastly then transformed into an Arcanine. Oh my god. Seeing Arcanine waiting for him with his mouth open, Meowth ran back instantly. Jessie saw Meowth was so unlucky that she could only throw her Poké copyright ball and said, Arcanine, use entanglement attack. Use Zangoose to deal with Ape Snake. With one strike from Ghastly transformed into Zangoose, Scissor Snake fell to the ground. Coughing attacks with poison gas. Gas. Coughing directly spit up a lot of gas, but was knocked away by Zangoose who was wearing a gas mask. I'll borrow your gas, Charmeleon, go straight to flamethrower. Check. The red flames caused a huge explosion when they touched the gas, but Ghastly was not hurt at all. Sure enough, this Ghastly, which has existed for 1,000 years, is not so easy to deal with, Pikachu Bayo. Seeing Ash's Pikachu start stockpile, Ghastly said quickly, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I just want to play with you guys, don't take it so seriously. Ash was surprised to see Ghastly behave like this, but he did not order an attack. Instead, he hugged Xiaojue and the others tightly and asked, what is your purpose? Can you tell me now? My purpose? To be honest, my purpose is very simple, to keep the legend of the ghost girl alive. But now I have something more interesting to tell you. Hey? What's going on? Your name is Ash, right? Haven't you heard the girl calling you? Ghastly looked at Ash with eyes full of nostalgia. What do you mean? Ash had some guesses, but he was still not sure. You should have understood by now, right? Ash, is this your real name? It seems that God has erased your memory, Alang. Hearing what Ghastly said, Xiaojue stopped talking. She stepped forward and argued with Ghastly, what do you mean by that? Is Ash dead? Of course not, little girl, my meaning is very clear, Ash is the brave Alang of the Wave Guide from thousands of years ago. Are you sure? Could it be that Aaron is Ash's past life? Misty thought it was more likely that it was Ash's past life. After all, Ash obviously couldn't be an old monster who had lived for 1,000 years. However, Ghastly shook his head and said, no, a reincarnated person can't have the same Wave Guide. Besides, I'm a ghost Poké copyright Monday. I can see people's souls. Now I realize that Ash is Aaron from 1,000 years ago. Then everything makes sense. Forget it. Let me show you what I saw with my own eyes. As Ghastly's smoke spreads, scenes begin to appear, and everyone sees a brave man named Aaron and Lucario on their journey to stop the war. Master Aaron, it seems someone is following us. Ah. It's okay. It means no harm. It's just hungry. I don't know if it's okay, but I left some incense for you. Go eat it. After Aaron burned 3 incense sticks, he left with Lucario, and a Ghastly appeared impatiently and ate the aroma. After eating, Ghastly secretly followed Aaron and Lucario, witnessing their battles along the way and the final destination of the brave Aaron. Aaron imprisoned Lucario in the gem when he wasn't paying attention, then smiled at Mew and said, I'm sorry, if Lucario continues to stay outside, his Wave Guide will be sucked out. It's time to end this boring war. The power of the Wave Guide is in my heart. My Wave Guide, my life, take them all, and then end this boring war once and for all. Afterwards, all of Aaron's waves were absorbed by the world tree, and in his dying moments, Aaron leaned against a tree trunk and looked at Ghastly. Ah, it's you. I'm so sorry I can't prepare food for you, but the world will be better in the future. I hope Xiaozi won't wait for me anymore. Oh, by the way, I don't have the strength to release Lucario, but when he comes out, he will definitely be very happy with the world at that time, right? After all, our efforts are worth it. Ghastly. Don't feel sorry for me. I want to thank you for witnessing my adventure with Lucario. It's great to have adventures with Lucario. At this moment, an alpaca-like creature appeared, and Aaron looked at it and couldn't help but laugh. What? So you are here. I shouldn't have done this if I had known. Arceus looked at Aaron and couldn't help but ask, why do you have to go to this extent? Why? Because I love this world so much. Isn't it normal to sacrifice for love? I see. Your feelings have also been passed on to the world tree. The war is over. The world that I didn't want to care about anymore has changed because of you. You won this time. Thank you for loving this world so much. Now go back to those who care about you. As for Stephanie, don't worry. You will meet again. This is also part of my thank you gift. Then everything disappeared in a flash of light, and Ghastly said, this is my memory. However, at this moment, a Lucas flashed by, and then the subsequent scenes appeared, which were what happened after Arceus and Aaron. The brave man named Alang gradually minimized, and then Ash appeared in front of everyone, and then Ash returned to Meowth and Pikachu with his eyes closed. When Ash opened his eyes he just looked around in confusion. What's wrong, Boss Meow? I don't know. I have a strange feeling, as if I have been away for a while. Pikapi. Forget it, never mind. The Magikarps are still giving us calcium supplements. Let's go. Boss, are you eating fish today? That depends, if I can catch one. Pikapi. I understand. It's tomato lasagna, right? The ingredients are ready, don't worry. Just like that, Ash, Meowth and Pikachu walked further and further away, while Arceus watched them from a distance. Your story doesn't end, it begins, Ash. Chapter 56. When all the scenes ended, Ash fell into deep thought, and Xiaojue asked worriedly, are you okay, Ash? It's okay, I just really want to laugh about this situation. Ah ha ha ha, this is too funny. Hey. Then, while everyone was confused, Ash laughed and said, come on, don't I know what kind of person I am? If you want to cheat people, find a better way. How can a selfish person like me who only thinks about making money sacrifice myself to save the world? Isn't that funny? Ash walked up to Ghastly, patted him on the shoulder and said, Ghastly, you are such a liar. You make me doubt whether I am great or not. But what I said is true, and the latter part was not released by me, but by someone else. Ghastly looked at Ash helplessly. How could the person involved say this? Just when Ghastly was helpless, a voice came. It's actually very simple to prove it. Just put your hand on the girl rock and you'll understand. The voice was full of majesty, giving people a feeling of worship, and Ash quickly protected Misty and Xiao Huang. Who? Come out. You can't find me, but now is not the time to talk about this. If you want proof, then put your hand on the girl rock. Hearing this voice, Ash said seriously, I'm sorry, Maiden Rock is a feature of Maiden Gorge. I can't touch it casually. This will cause unnecessary trouble to Sister Jenny and the others. And at this moment, the whole place was silent, even the voice was speechless. Arceus looked at Ash helplessly in the void, feeling a headache for Ash's behavior. Damn it. You still have the same problems as before. Juncha over there, do you agree to let Ash touch the girl rock? Didn't Ash call you here to help watch Ghastly together? What? 3 James Meowth and Jessie were completely confused. Juncha was there too? Then the entire venue was instantly illuminated by countless spotlights. It turned out that the employees of the Continental Hotel, as well as Juncha and Joy, were squatting in the bushes, drinking coffee and eating buns. The employees of the Continental Hotel also turned on the equipment to let countless professors watch the current situation. What's going on, kid? 3 Team Rocket was completely confused by the situation, but Ash seemed to remember something and said, I forgot to tell you that I called a bunch of people to help give us courage. Xiaojue and the others also know about it. Look, since it's a ghost, it's a big discovery, right? Let's watch it together. 3 Team Rocket felt like they were being tricked. At this time, Juncha came over and said, Ash, since that voice said that you can get the truth by touching it, then go ahead. We will be responsible for the communication here. Professor Oak nodded on the computer screen and said, that's right, Ash, go and give it a try. We will all be witnesses for you. Okay, Pidgeot, take me there. Compare. As Pidgeot led Ash closer to the girl rock, Ash was silent for a moment before reaching out and touching the girl rock. Then nothing happened. Nothing happened. Oh my god. Originally Ash really thought that nothing had happened, but soon the rock on the girl rock peeled off, and then a girl was actually inside the rock. Ash quickly hugged the girl to prevent her from falling. What's going on? Ash was really confused now. How could such a thing happen? The girl looked at Ash and said with a smile, so, your real name is Ash. Welcome back, Master Alang. Then the girl fainted. I don't know what the situation is. Save people first. Sister Joy Chansey is saving people right away. Over there. Bring the first aid kit. Yes. Boss. Chansey, come with me. Then with the help of Joy and Chansey, the girl was temporarily placed on the bed, while Professor Oak and the others discussed with each other. What a miracle. He actually lived for 1,000 years. No, Ash's identity is more amazing, right? The hero of Bird. Who is that voice anyway? We in Sinnoh seem to have a legend, that should be the legendary creator god, Arceus. Looking at these professors discussing heartlessly, Ash looked at Xiaojue and the others, but found that Xiaojue, Misty and Xiao Huang were crying and saying, what a touching love. I say, you guys have a sense of crisis, I'm obviously the protagonist of this matter. Ash pinched the faces of the 3 people. That's right, but it turns out that Ash saved the world. Misty reacted and thought of something else. And Xiaojue hugged Ash and said, it's over, Ash is going to be popular. Is brother Ash so great? It's you again. Ash. Just when Ash was happy, Brock collapsed. The person Stephanie had been waiting for 1,000 years was none other than Ash. Looking at Xiao Gang running away crying, Ghastly said, poor child. No, he just likes older sisters, so he deserves it. Seeing that Ghastly had some misunderstandings, Misty explained. Anyway, Xiao Gang would definitely relapse into his old habits after meeting other older sisters. Chapter 57. How is it, Ash? How does it feel to suddenly know that you are a hero who saves the world? Inside the Huaxia restaurant, the people who were called by Ash to help were having supper, and Xiaojue asked Ash with a smile how he felt about being a hero. I don't feel anything. Anyway, I don't have this memory. By the way, has Xiao Huang gone to rest? Well, Misty has gone to accompany her. After all, she is still young, and it is not good for her not to rest properly. That's good. After saying that, Ash hugged Xiaojue and said, what do you think we should do about Stephanie? To be honest, I really screwed myself over here. I wanted everyone to help look at it together, but in the end, everyone knew about it, and I now have an extra person who has been waiting for me. She has been waiting for you for 1,000 years, so you should make it up to her. Xiaojue was very touched by the girl's waiting, so she also said something for the girl. After all, she was the one who took Ash's virginity. It's good to have a good and virtuous wife to help you with ideas at this time. I understand. Since Xiaojue said so, Ash would not be a man if he didn't say so. Thank you, Sister Xiaojue. It's okay, but Ash, the brave hero of the wave, was really dazzling at that time. When Xiaojue thought of the scene in which Ash ended the war alone with his own wave, she felt proud from the bottom of her heart that her man saved the world. While Ash was enjoying some warm time alone with Jure, Juncha was explaining everything to the mayor of Maiden Gorge. Does that mean there really is a girl in the Girl Rock, and she has been taken for a medical examination? The mayor had a headache. After all, this was too magical. Although Poca Copyright Monday itself is magical enough. That's right. Now it's quite troublesome for us to tell the residents of the town about this. Juncha did not hide anything but explained everything. After all, there were a group of authoritative professors as witnesses, so there was no need to hide this matter. What a headache. After all, the Girl Rock has been passed down from generation to generation. How do you want me to tell those old people? Should I tell them that there really is a girl in the Girl Rock? The mayor was very sensible. Anyway, the real income of the Girl Gorge comes from the annual temple fair and tourists. The Girl Rock is just a legend. Regarding this, I think we can use a custom from your place. Ash walked over and patted Ghastly who was beside him. Dividing line. On the night of the Ghost Festival, countless people witnessed a magical scene. The Girl Rock peeled off, and the girl's soul smiled and floated into the arms of a man in unique clothes. Then the two of them left on a boat with lights on. Am I seeing this correctly? No, I recorded it al euro. There really is a girl ghost. Asterisk. And on the other side, the girl named Koshiki woke up, and when she saw Ash sitting next to her, she smiled and said, "You are back after all, Master Alang. I'm sorry, I have no memory of those things. If possible, I would like you to tell me how you became rock." To be honest, Ash still felt a little uncomfortable facing the girl in front of him. After all, she was the one who had been waiting for him for 1,000 years. The girl seemed to see what Ash was thinking and said with a smile, "Don't feel embarrassed. It was God who petrified me. He said that I just needed to wait. Besides, you saved the world and ended the war. How could I blame you? I'm sorry, I really can't remember anything. The only thing I can think of is your name, Xiaozi. That's enough. Please don't leave this time, Aaron." "No, Ash. Don't worry, I'm not a good person now, but you still need to recuperate, so go to my house first. My mother said she wants to see you." Ash lowered his head helplessly and took out a communicator. "Mom, this is Xiaozi. What a good girl, Ash, don't let her down, okay? And let Xiaozi come home before she recovers. Oh, and I'll teach her a lot of modern knowledge." Delia was rambling on and on, so Ash could only say to Ghastly, "Then I'll leave Xiaozi's escort mission to you. Don't worry. If you have any problems, just call me. I'm always ready." After saying that, Ghastly guarded Xiaozi. Now Ghastly is Ash's Poké Copyright Monday. After all, it has long hoped that it can become the Poké Copyright Monday of that gentle hero. "Ghastly, you don't need my training anymore, so you just need to learn the moves I taught you." "Understood." When everything is over, Ash and his friends will embark on their journey again, and Xiaozi will go to Pallet Town under the escort of Ghastly, the employees of the Continental Hotel in Junsha to meet her future mother-in-law. And now Ash is about to say goodbye to Xiaozi. Facing this girl who has been waiting for him for 1,000 years, Ash really doesn't know what to say. "Anyway, take care of yourself, and I'll definitely go back this time, that's all. I will always wait for you, Ash, but this time I will wait for you at your home." "That's great, see you later." "See you later." After hugging Xiaozi, Ash and his group left, and Misty said curiously, "It's amazing, past lives, no, this is 1,000-year love." Ash was stunned for a moment after hearing what Misty said, then he said, "Past life or this life? If I'm talking about a past life, maybe I really have one." "Hey." Foreseeing the strange looks of Jua and the others, Ash smiled and said, "I do have so-called memories of my past life, but they are just some boring things. Let's go. The golden badge in Golden City is still waiting for me. I hope Sabrina won't want to turn me into a doll." However, what Ash didn't know was that a woman named Lusamine was coming straight to him with her 2 adopted children. "Mom, are you sure that man is Dad? He is only 15 years old." "Lily, I'm not very good either. But do you believe in past lives and present lives?" Lily was confused by Lusamine's question, while Gladion said speechlessly, "Mom, do you think this joke is funny?" However, what responded to Gladion was a terrifying look from Lusamine. "No, I won't lie about this. I hope you can understand, Gladion." Chapter 58. On the way to Saffron City, Ash and his crew chose to rest in a small town to cheer up Xiaogang. Why did they want to cheer Xiaogang up? "Ash, why didn't I catch a Butterfree? I could have gotten close to the big sisters with Butterfree right now." "Oh, don't you like rock? But just now I saw countless beautiful big sisters releasing Butterfree." Ash saw that Xiaogang's spirit was getting worse and could only say, "Just take it easy. It's all because of you. Ash, don't you know that I've been suffering all this time because of you? Miss Jewar. Miss Cynthia. Xiaozi. I don't know how to say this, but don't you think your fiancé copyright is a bit too much?" Seeing Xiaogang's indignant look, Ash patted him and said, "I'm a bad guy, so I choose to have a harem. Anyway, I can afford it." Ugh. Watching Gon run away in tears, Ash felt that he had comforted him. But thinking that there was actually a Flash Poké Copyright Monday among the bunch of Butterfrees he rescued today, it was really amazing. You know, Flash Poké Copyright Monday are very rare. Now, besides the pink Butterfree, the only Flash Metagross Ash has seen is Steven's Flash Metagross. At night, when Ash was about to talk to Xiaojur about life or strangers, Xiaojur's communicator rang. Xiaojur could only helplessly say to Ash, "Sorry, my friend came suddenly. I'll go pick her up. Although I don't know what's going on, it's not good to keep her waiting. Sister Jur, can you bear to see me suffer all the time?" Ash felt like crying but had no tears. He was already furious and his wife was in trouble. "I'm sorry, let me help you in another way first." Afterwards, Ash went to pick up Lusamine and the others with an unhappy look on his face, and Lusamine's eyes never left Ash during the whole journey, while Lily and Gladion looked at Ash curiously, the dad as their mother called him. After arriving at Hwasia restaurant, Xiaogang was about to have another attack when he saw Lusamine, but he was subdued by the brothers' team who were ready at the side, and then dragged to the brothers' fitness park to play. Ash, on his side, was cooking with an unhappy look on his face. "Damn it, who does that woman think she is? If it weren't for Xiaojur, I would have splashed juice all over her face." The chefs trembled as they watched their boss cook with a grimace on his face. "What do you mean you want to taste the cooking skills of Xiaojur's man? I don't believe it. Since you want to have a taste, I'll let you have a taste." Then, under Ash's ferocious smile, countless special spices were put into use by Ash. "Hee, I hope you like it. This is a super concentrated version that only anorexics can eat. Ha 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 ha." After laughing wildly, Ash made sure that his expression was no longer ferocious, then went out with 3 servings of food. Although Lusamine was annoying, the 2 children she adopted were innocent, and Ash would not torture them. Here you are. You must have had a hard journey. Eat while it's hot. This is your Miss Lusamine, this is your Lily, and this is your Gladion. Thank you. *3 When Lusamine, Lily, and Gladion ate their portions, they all showed different expressions. Lily looked happy, Gladion looked savoring, but Lusamine shed tears. What shocked Ash even more was that Lusamine ate her portion while she was crying. What's your sense of taste? I made a super strong type. Ash didn't care if he would be pinched by Jewel. Now Ash was more curious about Lusamine's taste. Isn't this too scary? This super strong type can actually be eaten. However, after eating it, Lusamine looked at Ash with tears in her eyes and said, it's you, it's really you. Ash was stunned when he heard Lusamine say the last name, and then immediately protected Misty and Xiao Huang behind him, and even prepared to attack. Who are you? Wait. How can you eat that kind of food? No way. Looking at Lusamine, Ash thought of a possibility that was too ridiculous, but Lusamine's subsequent behavior confirmed Ash's idea. Finally I found you. It's really you. Lusamine had already thrown herself into Ash's arms and started crying, while Ash said helplessly, well. I am Ash now. Could it be you too? Lusamine thought of a possibility. Ah, yes, I followed you after you died. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If it weren't for me. If it weren't for me. Seeing Lusamine like this, Ash comforted her and said, it's okay, it's my own choice. Ash, can you explain it to me? Xiaojue was completely at a loss. After all, what did her best friend and her man mean? Ash said helplessly to Xiaojue and the others, let me explain it briefly. The relationship between me and Lusamine is related to my past life. Later in a private room, Ash explained the relationship between himself and Lusamine in his past life. Yes, Lusamine also had memories of her past life, and her past life was Ash's lover who died of illness in his previous life. Ash also explained why he knew so much about medicine and nutrition, it was all because of Lusamine's anorexia. That means Ash, in your previous life, you also died after Lusamine died. Was it a suicide for love? Xiaojue didn't react too much after hearing this. After all, there was the incident with Xiao Ziyi before. She just thought of another aspect. Ash said speechlessly, no, it should be sudden death. After all, I didn't seem to sleep at all in the last few days. I kept taking Lusamine to various places. Hearing Ash say this, Lusamine, who had been holding Ash's arm from the beginning, whispered, I'm sorry, it's all because of me. Well, that was my own choice, but now. Ash looked at Lily and Gladion helplessly, then said seriously, I will try my best to be a good father. *2 Lily and Gladion didn't know what to say. Wasn't their adoptive father their adoptive mother's lover in her previous life? Misty is now immersed in the tragic love story of Ash and Lusamine. What a great love. But Ash is definitely a good man. Xiaojue said with a smile and hugged Ash's other arm. I still didn't give up on you under that situation. It seems I didn't choose the wrong person. Lusamine was not angry about Zijure's behavior. After all, the reborn Lusamine also knew the situation of Pocket Star. In addition, she felt guilty about Ash in her previous life. Ash had a harem, so he could have one. In his previous life, Ash died of exhaustion for her. What right did she have to stop him from having one? Therefore, Lusamine just smiled and said, yes, you really picked up a treasure this time, Ash. It's really good. Lusamine closed her eyes and leaned against Ash quietly, feeling the feeling of regaining what she had lost. Lily and Gladion did not disturb their adoptive mother at this time, because they could see the happy smile from the heart on her adoptive mother's face. Chapter 59. Ash feels that he may have been having too much luck with women recently, to the point of being doomed by love. First, it was Koshiki, a girl he had temporarily forgotten about, and then it was his girlfriend from his previous life, Lusamine. If he hadn't behaved well in his previous life and now, he would have been doomed by love. As for how Ash finally confirmed that Lusamine was his girlfriend in his previous life, it was actually quite funny. Ash just asked Lusamine what her favorite food was in her previous life and what she had for her last meal, and then he was yelled at. I was anorexic in my previous life. What else could I like to eat besides the extra strong food you make? And in the end, I didn't even eat. I was taking glucose. Even though he was yelled at, Ash felt relieved. There was no problem at all. This was his girlfriend. By the way, you actually adopted a child? I really didn't expect that. While Lily, Gladion, and Misty were chatting, Ash secretly pulled Lusamine to talk about her adoption of a child, and Lusamine smiled and said, after all, with the memory, do you think I would find another man? There is no comparison at all. Lusamine said as he rested his head on Ash's shoulder. With you, who always gives, in front of me, how can I still like someone else? Well, even if you say so, I will still start a harem this time. Well. Lusamine looked at Ash with a dangerous look and pulled Ash's face and said, I always get annoyed by this. Can't you not be a straight man when you shouldn't be a straight man? Although Lusamine was pulling his face, Ash still said, no, this is a matter of principle, and I've already given my first time. Lusamine looked at Xiaojue who was making a victory sign beside Ash, and dragged Ash away. Well, what are you going to do? FKU. Well, even though it's really late now, I haven't told Misty and Lily yet. Let your Meowth talk. Let's go and rest with us. Then Ash was dragged away by Lusamine and the little Jewer who was watching the fun. Gladion could only show a helpless look when he saw Ash being dragged away. He actually accepted Ash as his father. Although it was magical, he was not only his mother's lover in the previous life, but also the savior of the Poké Copyright Monday world. He also watched the live broadcast of Ash's battle with Tentacruel. At that time, Ash, who fought to protect his family, was indeed dazzling. The next day, Ash went to prepare breakfast very early, and the employees looked at their boss and couldn't help but want to ask him how he managed to stay so physically fit. To be honest, Ash didn't know what was going on. It seemed that his strong body didn't seem to be something that could be developed through exercise. But in the end, Ash stopped thinking about it. After all, this was a good thing and his physical fitness was a guarantee of safety. And just as Ash was cooking, Gladian came over. Hey? You got up early. Well, I want to start training my Poké copyright Monday, and here's my EV free. Gladian said as he pointed at Eevee in his arms and Sora standing beside him. Ash looked at them and smiled. They are all good partners, but you should eat something first. I can also teach your partner some normal type moves later. Really? Gladian was indeed envious of Ash's self-created skills. After all, that kind of powerful force was no joke. Ash smiled and said, don't expect too much. Right now, they are only suitable for skills that can improve their abilities. Further attack skills need to wait until their physical strength is trained. After all, most of the normal skills, except for the destruction death ray, rely on the body. I see. After hearing this, Gladian understood what Ash meant. If a Poké copyright Monday itself is not strong enough to use powerful moves on it, the backlash may be even more serious. Okay, since you got up so early, I'll give this to you first. I'll go back before your mother and Xiaoju get up. We'll talk later. Holding the breakfast that Ash gave him, Gladian looked at the young father lost in thought. Maybe, this is not bad. Chapter 60. This feeling of being taken care of, it turns out that even after all this time, your habit of taking care of others has not changed. After waking up, Lusamine looked at Ash with a complicated expression. You know, she was the only one who was treated like this before, but now. Looking at Xiaojuer, Lusamine knew there was more to come. Ash helped them put on their clothes while saying, okay, stop feeling sorry for yourself. It's great that we can meet again. Besides, you don't have anorexia this time, so it saves me a lot of trouble. But what kind of taste are you used to now? Sour or sweet? I need to readjust the menu here. It's still the same as before, you can do whatever you want. Lusamine looked at Ash and suddenly smiled and then said, it suddenly feels like I'm back to the past, except that there are more people at home. While eating breakfast, Xiaojuer asked, has Ash always been so caring? Yes, he is a good man who cares about his family. Then I really found a treasure. Yes, it's equivalent to the special prize. Listening to what Lusamine and Xiaojuer said, Ash inexplicably felt a sense of shame. Dividing line. Since Lusamine needs to rest now, Ash and the others decide to stay in the town for another day, while Xiaogang looks at the sea alone. Why is Ash always so popular? Ash has his own spring, but mine never seems to come. As Xiaogang said this, he looked at Lily, Misty, and Xiao Huang who were riding on the giant tentacruel and couldn't help but say, what a youth. While Juer and the others were playing, Ash was teaching Gladian's Poké copyright Monday a unique skill. Deep breath. That's right. It's a skill that is of great help to normal, grass, fighting, and even fire. Take a deep breath. Of course, if I follow what I said in my previous life, it will be a ripple. Breathing is related to blood, because blood transports oxygen from the lungs, and the oxygen in the blood is related to cells, and cells are equivalent to the body. Just like throwing a stone into the water will cause ripples, using a special breathing method to generate ripples in the body, thus generating powerful power. This is ripple qigong or breathing. I didn't expect this ability to be successful, so it was quite unexpected. But you can see the effect. My Chansey, Meowth and even Pikachu are so powerful that their ripple breathing has penetrated into their lives. Every breath is to adjust themselves. I think you should understand what this means, right? Yes, if that's the case, during the battle, the opponent is losing energy while we are slowly recovering. Gladian also understood what Ash meant, so he began to look forward to the breathing method Ash mentioned. Yes, so your Eevee and Sora, as normal types, can both learn this method, but it's possible that these ripples will change after Eevee evolves. For example, my Pikachu has a lightning type ripple. So let's get started. Oh, and you have to start practicing too. Me. Gladian was stunned when he heard that he also had to practice, while Ash took off his red vest and was left with only a sports vest while doing warm-up exercises. Yes, in fact, we can practice it, and it is better to train with them as Poké copyright Monday partners. This way, if someone dares to attack our trainers in the future, we can teach them a lesson. Looking at the muscles that were revealed when Ash took off his coat, Gladian knew that his next training would be very strong. Meanwhile, Lusamine, whose body has recovered, is smiling as she watches Ash teach Gladian. At the same time, she has no intention of implementing some of the plans in her mind. Originally, Lusamine wanted to use a power called Ultra Wormhole to see if she could find the world where Ash lived in his previous life, but she didn't expect that Ash was also reborn, so many plans had to be abandoned. Well, there are some people that need to be dealt with when we get back. Lusamine's eyes began to become dangerous. She would not allow anything to separate her and Ash again, not even one person. It has to be said that the reason Ash and Lusamine came together in their previous lives was because of their compatible personalities. They both have a dark side, and that side exists to protect their families. Ash was not joking when he said he would destroy Tentacruel, but Ash held back for a simple reason: Tentacruel can help protect his own people. But it is different for Lusamine. There is no need to care about many people, so Lusamine plans to give them two options: one is to complete the mission, and the other is to disappear forever. Ash, after letting Gladian train on his own, sat down next to Lusamine and said, "From your expression, it seems like you are going to make some big moves when you get back." Well, some things can be concluded, but some people need to be dealt with. Lusamine did not hide it from Ash. The bond between the two was no joke. Alola also has my mainland hotel. I'll have them cooperate with you. By the way, this is for you. Ash handed a purple card to Lusamine. This is. Xiaoju and the others all have the identity card of the hostess of the mainland hotel. You can use the resources there in the future. Some organizations will be happy to help you deal with some things. Some people don't need you to dirty your hands. I understand. I will accept it without hesitation. After receiving the purple card, Lusamine leaned on Ash's shoulder and said, "It's great to see you again." "Yeah, that's great." Gladion, who was training nearby, felt that he had eaten a lot of dog food, and it was from his parents. Chapter 61. Originally, Ash wanted to go directly to Saffron City, but due to some special reasons, he never made it. As for the special reasons, Ash, although I don't want to disturb you, doing that kind of thing all the time might be bad for your health. Xiao Gang patted Ash numbly, while Ash was developing a new potion and said, "Lusamine is too passionate. I have to respond to her feelings. As for my body, don't worry, I can take care of it myself. Besides, Lusamine and the others will be going back to Alola soon, so it's normal for her to talk. But, you've been doing this for a whole week. Do you have any stamina?" 063 Thanks for the compliment. I'm not praising you. Facing Xiaogong's roar, he just continued to prepare the potion calmly, tasted it and handed it to the person beside him. "Take it for clinical trials." "Yes. Then I'll go accompany Lily and the others now." Looking at Ash who was acting like a good father, Xiaogang once again shed tears of a single man. Ash didn't just fool around this week. He also accompanied Lusamine and the others to play around. For example, Ash heard that Lily liked Shamine's Clefairy. "Let's go." Pidgeot and Dragonite meet in the month. Then, with Ash's help, Lily successfully captured a Cleffa, and then taught Lily on the spot how to mix Clefairy's favorite milk, which made the people around stunned. Of course, the Clefairies also gave Lily a moonstone as a gift, so that she could evolve Cleffa's evolved form Clefairy into Pixie when needed. Gladion likes to fight? Let's go. Ash's totem Poka copyright Monday in Pallet Town have a bunch of kids. Then Ash was taught a lesson by Delia by pulling his ears. "You've really grown up, you're like this again when Xiaozi just arrived. It seems like you need to be re-educated." However, after knowing the relationship between Ash and Lusamine, Delia still happily accepted Lily and Gladion as her grandchildren. And Delia's gentle aura also made it easy for Gladion and Lily to accept this young grandmother. As for the past life of Ash and Lusamine, since they already had Xiaozi, a person who lived thousands of years ago, it was not a big deal for Delia to accept it. Ash's beadrill also returned to the team smoothly after taking the medicinal bath and receiving instruction from Giovanni. His two needles were now emitting a terrifying light. Buzz. "It seems you have learned it, then beadrill leech life ghost fang." Buzz. As beadrill flew quickly past a big tree, he left a scratch on the tree, and then the tree withered. Buzz. Beadrill was very happy with the power of his move and flew to Ash's side. Ash also touched Drill's head and said, "Very good, it seems that you have mastered this move, and it will be very effective against the enemy." Buzz. Giovanni on the side couldn't help clapping his hands at the power of Ash's beadrill and said, "Very good, Ash, your beadrill has been waiting for you to show this move." "Really? Thank you, beadrill. Next, I just need to practice the ultimate twine needle." Buzz. Looking at Ash, Giovanni suddenly said, "By the way, Ash, I heard that I am a grandfather now." "Yeah, it's similar to Xiaozi's situation." "Oh, isn't it interesting? But I'm more curious about whether you have ever come into contact with Mew." "Ah, I think if that image is real then I should have come into contact with Mew." "Is that so, Mew?" "Dad, Team Rocket is yours, right?" Giovanni was not surprised by Ash's sudden question, but said directly, "That's right." "What's the purpose?" "I originally wanted to conquer the world, but now I just want to find one person." "Looking for someone?" "I can't help you with that. If you're talking about conquering the world, I can think of another way." A euro, tell me about it." Although he had given up on the plan to conquer the world, Giovanni still wanted to hear Ash's thoughts. "In fact, it's probably very difficult for you to conquer the world. Not to mention the true strength of the legendary beasts, you don't even have enough manpower. The size of the pocket star is no joke, right?" I thought of this, then what?" "We can try another way. Take my Continental Hotel as an example. In fact, there is a city where almost all of them are 4.8 of my employees. I think you should understand what this means, right?" "Oh, that's interesting. It's true what you said. So what do you think I should do now?" "Well, I heard that there is a guy named Bixiasi in Chengdu region. He was also the one who organized the snatch incident on the Saint Anno. Then we have someone to take the blame. The next step is the issue of transformation." Giovanni smiled and said, "You make it sound easy, but the rocket's transformation is very troublesome. What if a mainland hotel can help? That's a lot easier." Chapter 62. No one knew what Ash and Giovanni talked about afterwards, but a certain Bixias suddenly felt his anus tighten, and then he slowly continued to prepare his plan to overthrow Giovanni. Ash, on the other hand, was leaving after Gladion captured a Nidorana trademark, but before leaving, Ash left Multank, who had been responsible for producing milk, at home so that Xiaozi could practice Poka copyright Monday massage. After all, Xiaozi didn't want Ash to keep it for nothing. Grolite also stayed at home temporarily. His realm had reached a bottleneck. Now the only thing he needed to do was to rest and relax at home, and let Ash's totem Poka copyright Monday pass on their experience. Therefore, Ash's team now includes Pikachu and Meowth who never score goals, Chansey who almost never scores goals, the three great Kanto monsters Charmeleon, Squirtle and Bulbasaur, Kurla, Beedrill and the super heavy ball resident who can't leave Ash's side, the ancient Dragonite, and the giant Tentacruel. He now needs to replenish his nutrition, after all, he grew unexpectedly big. Then, we will continue our journey. I'll leave Ghastly's family to you. Your strength is enough to secretly protect my mother and Xiaozi. Gyarados Nidoking and the others will also be on guard here. And someone will give you something later, so absorb it well. I understand, don't worry, no one will threaten them. Lord Ash, I will wait here for you to come back." Xiaozi said and hugged Ash, then watched Ash and the others leave with a smile. After that, Sarmiento took Ash for a final crazy ride and then left with Lily and Gladion. Don't tire yourself out when you get back. If you need help, call me. I have a huge Dragonite here so I can be very fast. Ash reminded Lusamine again and again because he knew that Lusamine would have a lot of things to do when he got back. Lusamine also accepted Ash's advice with a smile. Okay, don't worry. I'm no longer someone you need to take care of. You are the one who needs to be more careful. The previous incident with the giant Dragonite and the giant Tentacruel was no joke. Rosamune showed a dangerous look and dragged Ash, saying, if you die without permission, I will find a way to revive you and kill you. Then Lusamine returned to her good wife and mother self, while Ash wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. Don't worry, people like me absolutely value their lives. Ash then looked at Lily and Gladion, took out 2 cards and handed them to them, saying, this is the last present for you. With this, you can salvation and ask the people at the Continental Hotel for help. The same goes for Huaxia Restaurant, or even if you want to ask some bounty hunters for help. No, we have already been given so much by Ash's father. Lily was a little embarrassed to accept it while holding Cleffa, but Ash smiled and touched her head and said, I still have to travel here so I can't go to Alola for the time being. I can't accompany you now, but when you start traveling, I will definitely join you, so just consider this as my apology for not being able to accompany you. This. Seeing Lily still hesitating, Gladion said, take it. This is what Ash's father wanted, and Mom agrees too. Okay, thank you, Dad Ash. Well, Gladion, practice the skills I taught you. Once your companions have mastered them, I will teach you the follow-up. Contact me if you need anything. The Nidoran who agreed to follow you is my Nidoking's child. If you train well, he will be a trump card. Yes, I understand. Dad Ash won't let you down. Looking at the dark purple Nidorana trademark in his arms, Gladion will cherish this partner. Ash then made a phone call. Hello? How is the preparation for the special plane to Alola going? Everything is ready, boss. Very good. Then one last thing, Lusamine, this is the second strongest Nidoking and Nidoqueen in my Nidoking pack, they will be responsible for your safety. As Ash threw 2 treasure balls, an elite level Nidoking and an elite level Nidoqueen appeared in front of everyone. The 2 places are quite far apart, so I feel more at ease knowing they are protecting you. Okay, little sister Jewel, stop pinching me. I've already prepared for you. You still have a conscience. After hearing what Ash said, Xiao Juer's hand left Ash's butt. After all, there was a lot of flesh there. Ash also told Nidoking and Nidoqueen at the end, listen carefully, your mission is to protect the safety of Lusamine, Lily and Gladion. I allow you to use Toxic Touch. Got it. Roar. *2 Ash responded with 2 powerful roars. Lusamine asked in confusion, Toxic Touch. Ah, don't forget that I have knowledge of Chinese medicine. I think I have no problem in preparing poisons. Ash smiled brightly, but everyone could feel the murderous intent behind his smile. Chapter 63. What exactly is Ash Toxic Touch? On the way to Saffron City, Xiao Juer asked about the skill of Toxic Touch with some curiosity. After all, Ash allowed it to be used, so there must be a reason. Misty, Xiao Huang and Xiao Gang also pricked up their ears curiously and wanted to listen. Toxic Touch. Actually, Toxic Touch is specifically used to kill enemies. Kill the enemy. *3 Yes, you should already know that I have a wealth of medical knowledge, so I can also call myself an authority on toxins. I specially collected various venoms and mixed them one by one. Finally, I made a venom that is both corrosive and toxic. This venom is also thanks to Mook and Salazzle in the Alola region. And this mixed venom I slowly used on my poison Poké copyright Monday after continuously diluting it, so that they can also use this venom and make them produce antibodies. Finally, the poison type ultimate move Toxic Touch was completed. It is a terrifying ability that can poison the opponent just by touching him, and if the power is increased, it can directly corrode the enemy. Wait. Poison type Poké copyright Monday, is that possible? Thinking of a possibility, Xiao Gang looked at Ash in surprise, and Ash nodded and said, yes, my poison type Poké copyright Monday is the ultimate insurance. No one can imagine that the most dangerous protection is always lurking, right? At Ash's house, an Abrax monster was giving a small bead to Ghastly. Cha. Uncle. You want me to absorb the venom in this bead? I understand, but what is this thing? It looks very dangerous. Check. Okay, but how did Ash make such a dangerous thing? Ghastly swallowed the bead into his stomach and began to absorb the power of the venom. Arbok slowly left. It showed up this time just to give the venom beads it had refined to Ghastly. Otherwise, Arbok normal would have protected Delia in secret. As the strongest poison type Poké copyright Monday refined by Ash with special venom, Arbok's own venom can completely poison champion level Poké copyright Monday. And because of this, Arbok's Viper and its tribe are Ash's ultimate means of protection. For those who sneak into Ash's house quietly, Arbok and Arbo snakes don't mind using their own venom to deal with them. Mr. Abe, this is what I tried to make based on the recipe Ash left behind. I hope you like it. Cha. Uncle. Looking at the roasted mouse brought by Xiao Ziai, the old monster swallowed it directly, and then spit out his tongue to show his satisfaction. The person who sneaked in here before was dealt with by Mr. Abegwai, thank you. Xiao Ziai smiled when he saw that Abegwai was very satisfied, but then thanked Abegwai again. And Abramovich nodded. In fact, he knew that his secret actions were known to Delia and Xiao Ziai, but they both acquiesced to his behavior. This was a trust in Ash as well as trust in him. Otherwise, no one would dare to let Abramovich, the Viper, wander around. Delia seems to be very natural at ordinary times, but she knows everything Ash has paid. Although Ash is indeed very successful, he has also brought a lot of trouble. There are many forces that want to kidnap Delia and blackmail Ash. After all, it is easy for various organizations to know that Ash is the owner of a mainland hotel. However, they definitely do not have the courage to attack Pallet Town, so they always send people secretly, and the result is that these guys who were sent became the mulch library in the back mountain of Pallet Town. Cha. Uncle. Hey? What does Mr. Ghastly mean? Oh, he said he wanted to hide his child in your sleeve, it would be safe and secure. Check. Abogwai nodded to indicate that it was correct, and Xiao Ziyi smiled and said, is that so? Thank you, Mr. Abogwai. Check. Then a small snake slid down Xiao Zi's arm and hid in her sleeve. Xiao Ziyi did not feel uncomfortable about this. After all, the era she lived in before was very dangerous. If it were not for the protection of Ash and Lucario, there would be more attacks. Now she has a way to protect herself and feels much more at ease. Don't worry, I will take good care of her. Check. After getting Xiao Zi's promise, Abe completely disappeared, waiting for those overconfident guys to appear again. He had only one mission, to kill all those who wanted to attack Delia and the others. Chapter 64. Saffron City is one of the largest cities in the Kanto region, but it is more famous for the Golden Gym. The reason why the Golden Gym is famous is very simple, because the gym trainer Sabrina is too strong. She can beat a group of people with just Yanjura, not to mention that Sabrina can communicate with Yanjura when she gets serious. Just as Ash and his group were about to step into Saffron City, an old man teleport appeared, but as soon as he appeared, he hugged Ash's thigh. Ash. You're finally here. Sabrina has been throwing a tantrum again, and now I can't even see my wife. Please calm Sabrina down quickly. Oh, uncle, how did you offend Sabrina again? And can you please stop hugging my legs? It makes me feel weird. No. I won't let go. I want my wife. Meowth Chansey, call me. Got it. F-Ed Chansey. Lucky. Clank, bang. After a brutal beating, the 693 uncle who was holding Ash's legs was beaten by Meowth and Chansey and could not get up again. Xiao Huang asked worriedly, Brother Ash, is he okay? It's okay. This isn't the first time he's been beaten up. Don't worry. But then again, Sabrina is probably watching right now. Just as Ash thought, Sabrina, who was watching this side with Psychic, was grinning from ear to ear. Although it was her father who was unlucky, Sabrina couldn't help it. After all, she didn't mind how unlucky her father was. The network time reporting was different from compatriots. When Ash and his group just stepped into Saffron City, a bunch of firecrackers went off, and then two Hawaiian-style beauties appeared and pounced on Ash. Ash saw this and immediately used his secret skills. CFDB, defense is coming. He grabbed Xiao Gang beside him with one hand and moved him in front of him. Then Xiao Gang was warmly received by the two beauties. They gave him flowers and kisses, and even kissed the short-haired beauty because Xiao Gang turned his head in confusion. Jessie, congratulations. You are the millionth visitor to Saffron City. James, please accept our lucky prize. However, Ash watched Team Rocket slowly retreat with Little Yellow and the others protecting their cubs behind them and said, you two, your lies are at least 10 times more convincing. The Continental Hotel in Saffron City has already given out a grand prize to its millionth guest before the 4th round. I'm not saying that, James, you are a man, okay. Can you please stop wearing women's clothes? The one who reacted the most when hearing what Ash said was Xiao Gang, because the person he just kissed was James. Wait. Ash, you said he was James. I was confused when I suddenly saw two women rushing towards me just now, but now I see clearly after a closer look. Ugh. Accompanied by a burst of vomiting sounds, James and Xiao Gang both started vomiting, and when Xiao Gang saw James' face, he vomited even more violently. Xiao Zhuo looked at Team Rocket and said speechlessly, you guys are really obsessed with Pikachu, even though Ash's Pikachu is indeed very strong. Ha ha ha, that's right. We must get that Pikachu. Even our boss praised us for having a good eye. Jessie was very proud when she said this, and Meowth also jumped out and said, that's right, Meow. We have enough funds. We must catch Pikachu this time. Looking at them like this, Ash rubbed his head helplessly. His godfather really caused him a lot of trouble. On the other side, Managi in Rocket Hideout is asking Giovanni about this. Boss, why do you let those three guys continue to bother the young master? Hehe, just think of it as adding some fun to Ash. Besides, James is the eldest son of the Sasaki family. Sasaki has asked me to take care of him. Jessie's mother is our senior executive. She just wants Jessie to work hard on her own. As for Meowth, his ability is not bad. The fact that the three of them like Ash's Pikachu shows that they have good vision. And the machine they made for catching Pikachu is also very good. Anyway, give them more funds. Anyway, they can make more money after researching the machine they made. You can take a look. Then why not let them join the research team? Minato was also amazed when he saw the mechanical arm made by Meowth and his team. This was not easy at all. Giovanni smiled and said, the machine they made can train Ash's Poké copyright Monday and get good data for us, which is good enough. Understood a euro. Chapter 65. Ugh. 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 Asterisk 2 looking at James and Gon who were still vomiting, Ash silently mourned for them and then said, alright Team Rocket, it's time to settle the score. Come out, Beedrill, use the missile needle. Buzz. Beedrill was very excited to see three old friends as soon as he came out of the Poké copyright ball, so he decided to respond to them with the greatest enthusiasm. Drill's missile needle worked very hard. Boom. With an explosion, Jessie and Meowth flew away, and James just finished vomiting. Hey? Where are Jessie and Meowth? As soon as James asked he realized that it was Ash's Beedrill behind him. Ahaha. Isn't this Beedrill? Long time no see. Beedrill looked at James with red eyes and nodded, then, boom. Jessie. Meowth. I'm coming. James, covering his butt, also flew away. Xiao Zhuo looked at the three and couldn't help but complain, I'm really impressed by their perseverance. Misty nodded and said in agreement, maybe this is their advantage. Actually, I'm more curious about what they prepared this time. Do you want to go and have a look? Ash looked at the direction where the rocket trio flew away thoughtfully, while Xiao Huang hugged Kaihokyu and asked, Ash brother, are they good at making things? That's quite impressive. I actually admire them a lot. Go and have a look. Ash and his team were then led by Chansey, carrying the exhausted Brock, to the rocket team's trap building. Ash was then really shocked by the rocket team's hands-on skills. This time, the rocket team's trio actually made a subspace teleportation brick. At this time, a group of rocket team's top executives were listening to Manito's report on the trap set by the rocket team trio with a frown on their faces. According to the research findings of other researchers, the subspace teleportation bricks made by Jesse, Meowth, and James can perfectly teleport people and objects. We strongly recommend promoting this technology. Next, we need to further test the usable distance and deviation value of the bricks they made. If they can teleport over long distances, it will be very helpful for our rocket team to go to other areas. Asterisk and a bunch of people were speechless listening to this report that was so shocking that it made the world weep and the ghosts cry. Archer asked speechlessly, "Are you sure these three are ordinary team members? It's really a waste of talent if they don't do scientific research with such abilities." Jesse and James were once senior team members, but they were demoted because of funny incidents that always happened after they formed a team. Asterisk and all the Rocket's top executives were speechless. These two are simply amazing. Ariana looked at the information in her hand and said, "So what should we do with them?" But they are indeed quite discerning. They actually set their sights on Master Ash's Pikachu. Giovanni, who was sitting in the main seat, looked at the black technology made by his three funny men with a speechless face and said, "Just allocate more funds to them, and when you work with them, be sure to keep the information or drawings of their machines." Yes. At this point, the three funny guys of the Rockets have completely become legends within the Rockets. After talking about the Rocket Trio, Archer took out a personnel profile and asked, "Boss, who is this new general?" "Sebastian. He's wearing a weird mask, and his main Poké copyright Monday are Abermoth, Nidoking, and Ghastly." He's followed by a Pikachu who also wears a mask, asterisk, and seeing his subordinates were silent, Giovanni nodded and said, "Yes, Sebastian is Ash. This is our whitewashing plan. Bixius seems to be causing trouble in Chengdu, so he will take the blame." As for Bixius having to take the blame, other people are gloating over his misfortune, which shows how unpopular Bixius is. Chapter 66. While Team Rocket was in the meeting, Ash was preparing to go to the Golden Gym alone with Pikachu, Meowth and Chansey. After all, he was going to meet Sabrina. Ash was still worried about Sabrina's habit of turning people into dolls at any time, so in order to avoid unnecessary trouble, Ash chose to go to Dragon Tan alone. "Really? Don't we need to go with you?" Little Jewel couldn't help but ask Ash as he was packing his things. Ash nodded and said, "For your safety, you should wait until I confirm that Sabrina is in a good mood. Otherwise, I think you will be turned into dolls, especially you, Little Jewel." "Me?" Xiao Jewel pointed at herself in surprise. Ash said helplessly, "Sabrina has psychic, so she can watch Saffron City at will. Now I guess he is watching us." "That's right." Following a cold female voice, Sabrina teleport appeared beside Ash, and Ash seemed to have known it for a long time. "Well, you didn't come up and try to turn me into a doll. It seems you are in a bad mood today." "That's true, but I was a little annoyed when I saw you hugging people left and right, and I was even more annoyed when you looked at the floor instead of me first." Sabrina stared at Xiao Lu, who turned away embarrassedly and said, "Well, after all, we are so familiar with each other, there is no need to rush now, right? I'm in a hurry, so I'm here to snatch someone away. A euro, okay, let's go." Then Xiao Juer, Misty, Xiao Huang, and Xiao Gang, "I'll stay with Sabrina for now and we'll be back soon." "You talk too much." Before Ash could finish, Sabrina teleported Ash and Pikachu Meowth away. Then Sabrina looked at Xiao Juer and said, "You got there first. If I had known, I should have teleported directly to find Ash. Then I'll borrow Ash first and invite you to my house later." Xiao Juer looked at Sabrina and suddenly smiled, then said, "Then I'll leave Ash to you. Xiao Huang and I will go shopping first." As she spoke, Xiao Juer took out the black card that Ash had handed to her before and showed it. Misty and Xiao Huang asked worriedly, "Is Ash brother okay?" "Don't worry. It seems that Sabrina wants Ash to spend more time with her. I understand your feeling. Zaijin, you traveled with Ash before, and Mitsumi has been taken care of by Zai since she met us, so you don't know this feeling yet." Sabrina looked at Misty and Xiao Huang seriously and said, "Don't worry, I just asked Ash to accompany me. I will invite you to my house soon. Now please give us some time alone." Seeing Sabrina said so, Zaijin and Xiao Huang could only follow Zai Juer's advice and go shopping first. As for Xiao Gang, he was sent to the hospital for treatment because he was exhausted from vomiting. Unfortunately, Xiao Gang encountered a situation where the doctor's sister was unable to come, so he had to be treated by the strong big brother. When Xiao Gang regained consciousness, a doctor and his brother were looking at him gently. "Little brother, you are awake. Seeing that you vomited so badly, it should be a gastrointestinal problem, so we are going to do an AL examination." "Hey. Wait. I'm fine. Really. I just accidentally kissed the wrong person." At this time, Xiao Gang obviously found something wrong, and for his own future consideration, he quickly began to explain. However, this is a hospital after all, so no matter how Xiao Gang explained, the doctor had to be responsible. After all, Ash had already paid for the medicine. "Don't worry, your friend has already paid the consultation fee, you can now leave it to us without any worries. At least a female doctor is needed." "Oh, I'm so sorry, I really wanted a female doctor, but she's on leave today, so I'm here to take her place. Macamp, help me hold this boy down." 11 Macamp. Macamp on the side turned Xiao Gang over with 4 hands and fixed him in place, while the doctor took out the props and said, "Let's get started, boy." Xiaogang's soul-stirring growl echoed throughout the hospital. Chapter 67. When Sabrina returned to her home, she saw a group of Poké copyright Monday having fun, while Ash was drinking tea and chatting with his mother. "Oh my, I didn't expect that the one before was really Ash. He looked so handsome at that time. Especially the line, 'If you want to hurt the existence I cherish, I will destroy you.' It was so domineering. Well, I was just telling the truth. After all, that guy really p'd me off. So is Sabrina someone you value? Of course. Tang. Hearing Ash's answer without hesitation, Sabrina, who had just returned, blushed instantly. Seeing her daughter blushing behind Ash, Sabrina's mother smiled and said, "Oh, you really spoke without hesitation. It's good to be young." "Ash, say it again." Sabrina no longer cared about her mother's watching look, but anxiously held Ash down, almost using psychic to make Ash say it again. "Oh, Sabrina, you're back. Would you like some snacks or tea? Now is not the time to eat, say it again." "Of course. Follow me." Now Sabrina didn't need psychic anymore and just pulled Ash away, but Pikachu and the others not only didn't help but even waved their hands. "Ah, if only I could be like the boss, then Madonna would have been with me a long time ago." Meowth said as she drank a sip of tea and fell into memories. "I wonder if I have time to look for Madonna." Sabrina's mother asked curiously, "Oh? Madonna? Can Meowth tell me about it?" Many people are interested in gossip, and this is obviously Meowth's love story, which is so attractive. Meowth knew she was in trouble when she saw the look in Sabrina's mother's eyes. While Meowth was being forced to tell her own story, Ash was sitting on Sabrina's bed and telling her a story, while Naji was lying on Ash's legs and listening to him. Finally, after continuous efforts, Paras evolved into Parasect and was finally drained of nutrients and became a tool of the giant big mushroom. Which genius wrote this story? Now Paras and his friends have been constantly removing the mushrooms to prevent themselves from absorbing too much nutrients. What kind of idiot Paras would let mushrooms absorb his nutrients all the time? Parasect, Ash, and others think that it is one of the dark stories of Poké Copyright Monday in the Poké Copyright Monday era. The reason is that if Paras evolves into Parasect, its nutrients will be sucked out and then controlled by the big mushroom on its back. This has been confirmed to be true, but Paras have now been constantly picking off their mushrooms to prevent themselves from being sucked out after evolution. And Parasect also regularly removes the big mushroom on his body to prevent himself from being controlled. Therefore, this incident has become a horrible black history recorded by the Poké Copyright Monday Alliance. The current Poké Copyright Deck's introduction is a bit beautified, so this crazy history is not mentioned. However, once someone captures Paras, there will definitely be Joy or Juncha or even the teacher of the Poké Copyright Monday school to remind him of this, otherwise it will really harm Paras and others. When Ash flailed through the book, Sabrina was laughing like a silver bell. "Ha ha. Ash's reaction is really funny, ha ha ha." Seeing Sabrina actually laughing, Ash said speechlessly, "What's so funny?" "But this is really funny. Tell me another story." "Okay, but let's not talk about that book. Let's look at other books." "What the hell is this?" "A love story between two Nidokings. Nidokings are all male, okay? Who wrote this? I want him to know the consequences of writing like this." "Ha ha ha ha." Sabrina's laughter never stopped at NA293's house, while Xiaojue received a call from her mother. "Ah? Let me go back? Why? I'm traveling with Ash here. Although traveling with your fiancé copyright does help you bond, but you know what, Xiaojue? Even if you two have a great relationship, you should at least wait until you get married before having children. If you don't come back now, you'll probably be two people by the time you come back." When Xiaojue heard this, her face turned red and she said, "Mom, did you figure it out?" "Humph, little Stephanie is different from what she's experienced. You're quick enough, girl." "Ah ha ha ha, I see. I'll tell Ash later." "Well, your father and grandfather have already talked to the elders at home one by one, so don't worry. Finally, have you taken any protective measures?" "No, Ash said he would cancel the wedding if he got pregnant." Chapter 68. It's now a gym battle, with the gold gym leader Sabrina versus Ash. With the uncle as the referee, the gym battle between Ash and Sabrina is about to begin. "Since I'm fighting you, Ash, I won't hold back, Udra." As Sabrina throws her Poké Copyright ball, her Poké Copyright Monday, Jira appears. "Young Jira. So it's young Jira, then let me see how much you've grown. Come out." Beedrill. Buzz. Beedrill flew in the sky and looked deeply at the Poké Copyright Monday. It had heard from Ash before that this Poké Copyright Monday was taken care of by Ash for a while. As Ash's Poké Copyright Monday, Beedrill certainly knew that any attribute that was taken care of by Ash was not an advantage. Sabrina looked at Ash's Beedrill and said seriously, "It seems that we need to pay more attention to Drew this time." Sabrina's eyes turned red, and then the Poké Copyright Mon's body glowed with a new light. "Beedrill, be careful. I trained Udra for a while when he was still Abra. Now that he has evolved into Alakazam, it is very difficult." Buzz. Beedrill nodded to show that he understood, and young Jilla also completed his evolution and became Alakazam holding 2 spoons. Alakazam. Beedrill attacks with double team and then Twineedle. Buzz. Following Ash's command, Beedrill quickly deployed shadow clones and continuously fired missile needles to approach Alakazam. Ash's Poké Copyright Monday, under Ash's training, knew how to fight better without Ash's instructions. Otherwise, if they relied on Ash's orders for everything, they would be passive. Sabrina and Ash had played together for a long time and understood Ash's fighting style, so they had long been on guard against Ash's Poké Copyright Mon Sucker Punch. Interactively use confusion to control the rocks to block it. Alakazam. As Alakazam's psychic was activated, countless stones rose from the ground and blocked Alakazam's way, but these stones were instantly destroyed after touching the missile needles. Teleport away and use Calm Mind. Alakazam. Facing Drill's missile needle, Alakazam quickly used Teleport to dodge, and Beedrill also showed his double thorium while he was dodging. If you can't avoid it, use Mental Cutting. Agility, get out of the way. Under the spiritual energy of Alakazam, the powerful spiritual blade flew towards Beedrill, but Beedrill dodged this attack. Ash raised his eyebrows at the damage caused by Alakazam's spiritual cutting. If this hit Beedrill, a poison type, he would be beaten badly. Let's make a quick fight. Beedrill, quick victory. Sabrina. Look. This is the miracle of connecting with your Poké Copyright Monday. Appear. The cavalry flying in the sky. Drill's Bond evolution. As Ash and Beedrill emitted a strong light, Beedrill evolved again in front of the surprised gazes of Sabrina, Alakazam, and Sabrina's father Nudge. This time, Beedrill looked even more dangerous. The original 3 thorns became 5, and every 10 thorns glowed purple. Ash looked at the Mega Beedrill that had evolved with him and said, "It's over, Leech Life Demon Fang." Drill's eyes flashed red, and then he appeared behind Alakazam before anyone could react. Alakazam paused for a moment and fell to the ground with circles in his eyes, completely losing consciousness. The game is over. The winner of this battle is Ash. Looking at the unconscious Alakazam, Sabrina smiled. "You have done your best, come back Alakazam." After taking back Alakazam, Sabrina looked at Mega Beedrill and couldn't help asking, "Is this your trump card? It's really amazing. This is the gold badge that belongs to you." "Yes, this ability is proof of the bond between Beedrill and I." After patting the scared Mega Beedrill, Ash smiled and took the badge from Sabrina, and Mega Beedrill returned to its original form. Looking at Beedrill, and then at Ash's Pikachu Meowth Chansey, Sabrina couldn't help but ask, "Can Pikachu and the others do it, too? Isn't this natural? It's just that Pikachu and Meowth are a little special. So it's about time to call Xiaojue and the others over. Don't turn them into dolls. I'm not that domineering." Chapter 69. What? Xiaojue, you want to go back? When Ash took Jewel and the others to Sabrina's house, he got the news that Jewel had to go back. Jewel said helplessly, "That's right, my grandfather and the others are out of isolation, so I can go back, and Unova also told me, the gym leader, to go back quickly." There was nothing Xiaojue could do about it. After all, she was the gym leader of the Unova region, and her family had produced 3 champion-level trainers, so she had to be present as the hero. Although the real hero was Ash, in order to prevent other members of the family from bothering Ash, she could only send more things at that time. Ash understands Xiaojue's difficulties very well. After all, it is impossible for Xiaojue to be the only one in the family. Now that Xiaojue's family has 3 champions, Ash has become a mega delicacy in the eyes of many people. "Hey, I wanted to see you win the championship, but it seems that's not possible. However, I will watch TV and cheer for you." "Okay, but I'll contact your mothers as well." "Okay, my mom just has something to tell you." Seeing Xiaojue wanting to laugh but holding it back, Ash knew that his affair with Xiaojue seemed to have been discovered. Just as Ash thought, although Xiaojue's mother looked at Ash with kind eyes during the call, the look in Xiaojue's father's eyes behind her was terrifying. "Ash a euro yes. Don't blame me for calling Xiaojue back. Although you are already engaged, it's better not to get pregnant before you get married." Xiaojue's mother said it was nothing, but the look in Xiaojue's father's eyes when he looked at Ash became more and more terrifying. "Get lost, you can throw away your broken eyes if you don't want them anymore." Juer's grandfather kicked Juer's father away, then smiled and said to Ash, "Thank you so much for this time, but we are not ungrateful. Even if you are Juer's fiancé copyright, we must repay you. So Ash, we will give you something. According to the legend of our Nimbasa family, it is something that only Pikachu can use." "Pikachu can use it? Could it be?" "Yes, it's the electric ball. I'm sure your Pikachu will be stronger after having it." Xiaojue's grandfather, Rika, looked at the Pikachu on Ash's shoulder, and said with some melancholy, "I didn't expect that a Pikachu of a lower-level mythical beast actually exists." "Pikachu." Hearing Rika say this about himself, Pikachu proudly puffed up his chest. Ash patted Pikachu's head and said, "Isn't this certain? My Pikachu is my first partner, of course Meowth is the second." As he spoke, Ash lifted up Meowth beside him, and Meowth greeted Rika. "Hello, Meow. Oh, this is Mr. Meowth who is loved by countless professors, Kvi, I have heard of him for a long time, but I never thought that Mr. Meowth is actually at the top of the world." Meowth Rika, who was watching Ash, also confirmed that the video that was banned by the Poké Copyright Monday Alliance was real. Ash had a bunch of Totem Poké Copyright Monday under his command, so this would completely shut up the elders. They were a bunch of idiots who threatened to break off the engagement with Juer. Their granddaughter was not theirs, so they could say it themselves. "Okay, the electric beads will be sent to you later. Xiaojue does need to go home, so you two should take this opportunity to play for a while. Also, if someone from our family says anything to you in Xiaojue's name, don't believe it. Our family is not that shameless, but other families may not be." Ash understood the old man's meaning immediately, so he smiled and said, "Don't worry, if someone really pretends to be Xiaojue, I will let him know why the grass-type Poké Copyright Monday in the back mountain of Pallet Town are so strong. Then I feel relieved. By the way, do you mind if I give Xiaojue a bodyguard?" "Bodyguard? Well, it's a good opportunity for Xiaojue to get acquainted with him. Come out, Uncle Snake." As Ash threw a Poké Copyright ball, a dark purple Abraham snake appeared in front of everyone. The Abraham snake just looked at everyone quietly and then quietly wrapped around Xiaojue's arm. Looking at the color of Ash's Iraq snake, Rika's face became solemn, because he knew that the darker the color of the Iraq snake, the stronger its toxicity, and the color of this Iraq snake was really terrifying. "Abashi, from now on you will be responsible for protecting Xiaojue. She will also be your trainer in the future, so you must get along well with Xiaojue." Touching the head of the Abe snake, Ash looked at this child of his own Abe monster. It perfectly inherited its father's toxic. "Yes." The old snake nodded, and Xiaojue looked at the old snake with interest and said, "Please give me more advice in the future." Chapter 70. Xiaojue wants to leave the team, and Xiao Huang is also leaving. After all, Xiao Huang is still young and her family is ready to let her go home first. Ash is very supportive of Xiao Huang's decision to go home first. After all, Xiao Huang is not suitable for long-term travel now, but Ash still made an appointment with Xiao Huang. When Ash travels to Chengdu, he will definitely take her with him. Finally, after Ash played with Chrysanthemum and Yellow for a day, Chrysanthemum and Yellow left. Chrysanthemum went back on a special plane, while Yellow was taken back to Viridian City by Ash's masturbator. It suddenly became much quieter. Xiao Zhuo and Xiao Huang went home, and Xiao Gang is still in the hospital. Lucky. Chansey handed an egg to Ash, and Ash skillfully began to use it to make a cake. Beside Ash, Sabrina and Misty followed suit. After all, Stephanie and her daughter both liked sweets. Xiao Zhuo is different from me. I have sisters in charge of the gym. Xiao Zhuo is still the gym leader after all, so she can't leave for too long. Misty comforted Ash while learning to bake a cake, and Sabrina said while using psychic to assist, I really envy you, Misty, for being able to travel with Ash. I can't leave the gym here. Misty, who could hear the grudge in Sabrina's voice, leaned slightly towards Ash. Haha, I actually met Ash by accident, but traveling with Ash is really fun. Meowth looked at the scene next to him and couldn't help but say to Chansey beside him, what a pity, I thought there would be a Shura field waiting for the boss. Lucky. Chansey smiled unkindly and pointed at Pikachu beside her, who was sitting there in a daze. Pika Pika. Seeing Pikachu like this, Meowth couldn't help but say, ah, how pitiful, he became like this after Kaihokyu and Xiao Huang left, ah, I think of my Madonna again, ah. Watching Meowth and Pikachu fall into a depressed contest condition, Chansey could only shake his head helplessly. Since Xiao Gang still needs to recuperate for a while, Ash decided to go to the Poca Copyright Monday Ghost Tower first. Ash remembered that there seemed to be 3 guys there who wanted to be comedians. It might be good if he could get them to sign a contract with him. However, the Ghost Tower is still very scary for Stephanie, so this time Ash took Meowth, Pikachu, Chansey into action. I wonder if the 3 guys in this Ghost Tower are still here. After arriving at the Ghost Tower and looking at the dilapidated tower, Ash hoped that the 3 funny guys would be children. Just as Ash was thinking this, a sharp growl came. It appeared. Meow. Then there was the sound of fighting, and Ash smiled and said after hearing the familiar sound, great. They are here, let's go. With the 3 funny guys from Team Rocket leading the way, Ash instantly knew who the 3 funny Ghost Poca Copyright Monday kids were, so he politely knocked on the door of the Ghost Tower. Excuse me, is there anyone here? I want to ask if you are willing to sign an agreement with my company and become a comedian. Ghastly. Haunter. Jengar. The door opened instantly, and then Ghastly, Haunter, Jengar and 3 other guys appeared directly in front of Ash, and were very attentive in leading him in. It's like this. I have my own channels to know that you 3 want to become comedians and have people to play with you, so I came to you. You can take a look at this contract. Very formally, Ash took out a contract, and Jengar, as the boss, looked at it seriously, with Haunter and Ghastly also watching. €1, please give me flour €. The conditions offered by Ash are very generous, and he will also have professional comedians to train the 3 of them, but in return, the 3 of them also need to help solve problems when Ash's forces encounter troubles. Jengar and the other 3 all agreed to this condition. After all, once the contract was signed, Ash and they would be family members, and it was only right to protect one of them. Finally, the 3 guys thought about it and Jengar yelled at Ash again. Jengar. 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 Boss, they said they hope we can help protect the Ghost Tower. After all, this is their home. Meowth diligently translated for Ash as the translator, and Ash felt that the request from Jengar and the other 2 was not difficult at all. Zero. Okay, I'll buy this piece and have someone help you turn Joshua over. After all, when you debut, people will definitely come here once your popularity rises. But if you want people to play with you, you can try to get the children to come. This will be a win-win result. How do you think? Jengar, Jengar. Jengar agreed after discussing it with Ghastly Haunter. It was great to be a comedian and have someone to play with. Ash then made a few phone calls. After receiving Ash's donation, the Poca Copyright Monday Alliance immediately allowed Ash to rebuild the Ghost Tower. The 3 Ghost Poca Copyright Monday, led by Ash, went to the Continental Hotel and prepared to learn from the comedian. As for whether comedians have time to teach, Ash believes that they will have plenty of time once they receive the commission. In this way, Ash's forces successfully won the main boss. Don't say these 3 aren't. Haunter can pull out the souls of Ash and Pikachu, which is already a bug. 3. Chapter 71. Welcome to the latest episode of our talk show. I heard we have 3 special guests this time. Who are the guests? Just when the host was wondering, a faceless man patted his shoulder. Wah. He. Asterisk 3 accompanied by 3 strange laughs, the Jengar trio appeared. How are they? Are the 3 of them good enough? Ash couldn't help but laugh as he watched Jengar and his team's performance outside the studio, while the comedy master invited beside him nodded and said, very good, they are indeed very talented, and as Poca Copyright Monday they can do more than humans. Watching Haunter blow up Jengar and host with a bomb he took out of his mouth, the comedy master said helplessly, I didn't teach you that. After the show ended, Ash walked back with Sabrina, who was grinning from ear to ear while Jengar and the others happily returned to their ghost tower. They had a lot of fun today. Ash, will Jengar always perform comedy in the future? Sabrina, who had just finished laughing, held Ash's shoulders, and Ash nodded and said, yes, you can watch more of them in the future, and if you want to play with them, you can go to the ghost tower. I'll take you and Misty there and you'll know. Okay. Afterwards, Ash returned to Sabrina's house, took Misty with him and took the 2 to the ghost tower which had already begun to be renovated, and Jengar and the other 3 also expressed their warm welcome. They followed their host and 10 groups of Poca Copyright Monday to play in the small amusement park in the ghost tower. While they were playing, Ash pulled Jengar over and said, Jengar, Sabrina didn't have much fun in her childhood, so she might come over to play more often in the future. Can you help take care of her? Jengar? Jengar. Jengar. How could Jengar not be happy when they heard that Sabrina would come over to play often? It would be better to say that people with psychic abilities like Sabrina are exactly what they like. Finally, Ash used Team Rocket's subspace teleportation bricks to specially create a device that allowed Sabrina and Jengar to play back and forth, and was finally leaving. Well, we're leaving now. Remember to call me if you need anything. I'll leave Jengar Sabrina in your care. In front of the Golden Gym, Ash is saying goodbye to Sabrina and the others. Gengar. Gengar. Gengar and Ghastly nodded with a smile. Sabrina hugged Ash and said, Ash, you are the one. Don't forget to contact me more often, or I will turn you into a doll. I understand. I will never forget it. I am leaving now. After leaving Saffron City, Misty couldn't help but say, I always feel like Sabrina really likes to play. Yeah, Sabrina has been practicing psychic since she was a child, so she didn't have a good childhood, not to mention any common sense problems. Only she dared to run around with her psychic skills, and ended up breaking into my territory and watching a show for free. Then, Sabrina and I started our ill-fated relationship, and Gary knew about it too. So Sabrina and Ash have this kind of past. After all, everyone does stupid things when they are young, right? In the Golden Gym, Sabrina was showing Gengar and the others her most precious thing, a photo. This photo shows Sabrina as a child, smiling and hugging Abra, Ash wearing a half-clown mask, a group of Poké Copyright Monday with colorful faces painted, and Gary hanging in the air. This is my most precious memory. A little Stephanie was playing around with the psychic teleport and finally found a secret base in the hills behind Pallet Town. There was a boy dressed as a clown playing with Poké Copyright Monday. Yes, that was Ash. Ghastly. Gengar. Sabrina 2.0 recalled the secret show. It was that show that made her learn to laugh and met Ash. She still remembers Ash's first words. Suddenly there is an audience, but thank you for your laughter. I'm Ash, would you like to play with me? My name is Sabrina, will you play with me? Isn't that a matter of course? Recalling the past memories, Sabrina smiled and put the photo away, with a ring on her hand. Chapter 72. After leaving Saffron City, Ash and his group are on their way to Rainbow City, but now it's lunchtime. Crash. With a strong aroma, Ash and Xiao Gang were cooking while Misty looked at them like a boss. Misty could only sigh that it was great to travel with two people who could cook. When Ash and Gon finished cooking, Misty had already prepared the dishes. The three of them and a bunch of Poké Copyright Monday sat down and enjoyed their lunch peacefully, while Ash kept telling them how to cook to suit the Poké Copyright Mon's taste. Gon, you should prepare some special stones for your rock Poké Copyright Monday. This will be beneficial to their growth. Misty, you should also pay attention to the water that water Poké Copyright Monday drink. Good water quality can help them grow better. This is what they said themselves. Meowth at the side got himself a fish and ate it while saying, yeah, to be honest, although Poké Copyright Monday food is good, if you want to make Poké Copyright Monday more satisfied, you need to pay more attention to it, meow. Pikapi. Pikachu nodded while holding his beloved ketchup. Misty, I see. Then let's buy some good water. When Ash and his friends were chatting happily, a monkey ran over following the aroma and drooled at the sight of their food. Ash was very considerate and gave it a portion for his covet look at the food. Here, eat something if you're hungry. Monkey. Seeing Ash being so nice, Monkey happily took the food and sat aside to eat. Pikachu. Looking at Monkey, Pikachu suddenly sighed, and Meowth beside him also smiled and said, really? When we were in Pallet Town, when Nidoking and the others were still Nidorana trademark, did they eat like this? After Ash and his group finished their meal, they said goodbye to Monkey. Monkey looked at Ash and his group as they were about to leave and waved goodbye. Little ghost, we finally found you. As the rocket trio stood in front of Ash and his team again, Ash and his team and Pikachu Meowth Chansey looked at these three funny guys helplessly. It's you guys, so what's going on this time? Need I say more, meow? Of course I'll take away your Pikachu, meow. Oh, actually, I personally think that Poké Copyright Monday like you who can talk are popular. You see, isn't my Meowth very popular among the professors? After hearing what Ash said, Jessie and James also came to their senses. Jessie, the kid said that. James, it seems to be true. Meowth looked at his two companions who were dragged into the ditch and immediately showed his claws. You two idiots meow. Sizzle. W.A. As Jessie and James screamed, Meowth said impatiently, the little devil is just stalling for time. Looking at these three funny guys, Ash reluctantly took out the luxury ball and prepared to send them to heaven. However, Monkey from before ran out and stood in front of Ash and the other two, looking at Meowth and the others with a rage on his face. Monkey, what are you doing? Times Monkey, Monkey. Monkey looked at Ash and the other two and asked them to step back. Boss, he said this is to repay your kindness. Is that so? Then I'll leave it to you, Monkey. After knowing that this was Monkey's return, Ash stopped trying to stop him and let Monkey handle the situation. Misty asked worriedly, is it okay, Ash? Can Monkey beat Team Rocket? Ash smiled and said, why do you think Monkey wants to return? I added something to his food before. Normal Monkeys move in groups, but this Monkey is different. He is very strong, so he dares to walk alone. I am just helping him break through to that level. Monkey. Evolve. Monkey. After hearing what Ash said, Monkey began to emit a glow of evolution, and then evolved into Infernape. Roar, roar, roar. The evolved Infernape looked at Team Rocket with fierce eyes, and Team Rocket also felt that something was wrong. Jessie, it feels like James, we are going to be beaten. Roar, roar, roar. While the two were talking, Infernape rushed up and punched Jessie in the face. With a gust of wind, Jessie flew backwards and her head hit the stone. Ah! Asterisk 2 James and Meowth were both terrified, and Ash couldn't bear to turn his head back. Oh my god. This is too cruel. A woman's face is her lifeline. Come on, Misty, move back a little. This is going to be a melee. Oh, okay. Misty was also shocked by the scene. She felt horrified just thinking about if this punch hit her in the face. Xiao Gang looked at Ash in silence. He thought that he seemed to be very caring towards girls, so why wasn't he liked by the older sister? Just as Ash thought, an unprecedented war soon began. Jessie was furious because of being hit in the face, so she directly ordered Abraham and Wasp to rush forward together, and she also rushed forward, and James and Meowth also joined the battle. Watching the melee, Ash kept cheering from the sidelines. To the left of Infernape. Right. Give him an uppercut. Perfect. There's a sneak attack from Coughing on the right, so be careful to avoid it. Beautiful. Infernape liked to fight in groups when he was in Mankey, and now with Ash's reminders at the side, it's 503 perfect, so Infernape fights even more happily. Infernape seized the opportunity and sent them flying with a series of punches. Roar. After hearing Ash's suggestion, a gleam of light flashed in Infernape's eyes, and then he beat up the 3 members of Team Rocket and sent them to soaring in the sky. What a disgusting feeling. *3 Well done, thank you, Infernape. Ash felt very happy watching the 3 people flying, and Infernape also nodded happily. How about it? Infernape, do you want to travel with me? Roar. Infernape was stunned for a moment after hearing Ash's words, then took a fighting stance, while Ash waved his hand and said, wait a minute, you're not going to fight with injuries, are you? How about healing first? Roar. Hearing Ash's suggestion, Infernape nodded and then accepted Ash's treatment. After the treatment was over, Ash threw out his luxury ball. Come out, Squirtle. When Squirtle came out and saw that it was Infernape, he was stunned for a moment, but he quickly got into a fighting stance. Squirtle, take a deep breath, and get ready. Hearing Ash's words, Squirtle took a deep breath, and then, in the surprised eyes of Infernape and Misty, Squirtle's momentum changed. Chapter 73. As a fighting type Poké copyright Monday, Infernape is very familiar with aura. Originally, it was fine when Squirtle first came out, but when Ash asked Squirtle to start taking deep breaths, Squirtle's aura changed, which made Infernape alert. When Ash saw that Infernape didn't attack first, he couldn't help but smile. Squirtle keeps improving his defense. Jenny. Jenny. As soon as Squirtle heard Ash's command, his body, which had been strengthened by deep breathing, was further strengthened. There was also some water flowing around Squirtle, which seemed to form a protective circle. Roar. After discovering that Squirtle's ability was constantly improving, Infernape knew that he could no longer observe, and rushed forward and used crazy resistance. Shrink into your shell and continue to improve your abilities. Hearing Ash's order, Squirtle quickly entered the shell. Facing the hard shell, Infernape's crazy fury swipes were useless. However, Infernape was not discouraged. Instead, he grabbed Squirtle's shell and used seismic toss. Squirtle hit his eyes with bubbles. Several small bubbles appeared from the turtle shell, and then exploded next to Infernape's eyes. After Infernape's eyes were attacked, it was forced to let go of Squirtle. Squirtle backs off and uses the rocket headbutt at maximum power. Jenny. Squirtle's body emitted a water blue light, and then he ran directly into Primeape. The huge impact directly knocked Infernape flying and fell into the rubble. Squirtle, come here. Seeing that Infernape had fallen to the ground, Ash was not in a hurry to capture it but waved at Squirtle. Squirtle ran back obediently. Then Ash took out a fluffy towel and began to wipe Squirtle's head. Very good. Since you don't like evolving, you need to start from another aspect if you want to become stronger. Remember to practice the skills I taught you well, and you must practice the golden bell cover. That is your ultimate move, understand? Johnny. Squirtle smiled and hugged Ash while letting Ash wipe his head. After wiping, Ash looked at Squirtle's shiny head and said, not bad, it seems that the training has been successful. I need to practice Iron Head more in the future. Jenny. Touching his big head, Squirtle gave Ash a thumbs up, while Pikachu touched Squirtle's head curiously. Pikachu. Amazing, is it going to reach the level of my Orbug tail? Johnny. The boss said that my head will be the ultimate killer from now on, so I should be able to practice the ultimate move like you to defeat the mythical beast level rival. Lucky. Then keep going, Ash's father's training is still very good. Johnny. Johnny. Of course. In order to respond to the boss's kindness, I must also be strong. Look at my head, it's shining. Misty was a little curious when she saw Squirtle and the others chatting, but she didn't ask much. Ash had already walked towards Infernape, and seeing that Infernape was still a little angry but unwilling to attack her, Ash took out a few needles and then stabbed them in the head. Infernape didn't resist because he trusted Ash, and then he was surprised to find that his rage emotion was gone. He looked at Ash curiously, and Ash rubbed his head and said, this is a special method that can help Poké copyright Monday like you who have a bad temper. How do you feel now? Roar. After his temper subsided, Infernape smiled calmly and happily. Ash also massaged him and said, actually, this method has been popularized, so it's not a secret. But mine is the most authentic. So, Infernape, are you willing to be my Poké copyright Monday? Infernape looked at Ash, then smiled and nodded. Then I'll be grateful for your guidance in the future, buddy. Although he said this, Ash's hands did not stop. Ash's habit is to do everything to the end and do it well. Infernape fell asleep peacefully under Ash's massage. Ash also put Infernape into the luxury ball after he fell asleep. Seeing how Ash calmed down Infernape, Xiao Gang couldn't help but say, that's amazing. Let's go. Rainbow City is just ahead. I also need to buy some medicinal herbs. Let's go to my hotel to rest when we get to Rainbow City. Ash and his team then headed for Rainbow City, while Team Rocket was unlucky enough to be sent to the Infernape Valley. Looking at the Infernapes around them, Team Rocket knew they were in real trouble this time. What a disgusting feeling. *3. Chapter 74. Rainbow City, this is one of the places Ash needs to go but not his favorite place to go, because the taste here. Oh my nose. I know my nose will suffer every time I come to Rainbow City. The perfume here is too strong, and it's mixed. Ah. My nose is done. Ash felt dizzy when he smelled the mixed perfume around him, while Chansey supported Ash considerately, and Meowth took out a mask and put it on Ash, saying, Boss, you always forget to wear a mask when you enter Rainbow City. He's alive. Thank you very much. I'll go check the goods first. Xiao Gang, What's wrong with you? When Ash turned around, Xiao Gang was leaning against the glass, looking inside like a pervert. Ash saw that everyone around was looking at him, so he shrugged and took Misty with him and left. You continue to watch. I'm going to go buy some goods first. Okay, see you later, this is heaven. Seeing Xiao Gang like this, the enthusiastic residents around 173 slowly took out their mobile phones. Dividing line. When Ash brought Misty to a store, he finally took off his mask. Hey, the smell here is better, at least it's better for the nose than those synthetic perfumes. Misty was very happy looking at the dazzling array of perfumes around her, and just when Misty wanted to try one, a group of female shop assistants ran out. Master Ash, you are here. We are ready to inspect the flowers you requested. The female clerks were so enthusiastic about Ash that they almost offered him special services. Ash was used to it and said, well, I'll check it out when Erica comes. First, introduce your perfumes to my companions. I'll pay. Kfad, when the female shop assistants heard that Ash had paid, their eyes lit up, and they immediately said, please rest assured that we will use the best preparations to prepare perfume for your companion. So, Master Ash, do you accept a custom design? Ash directly pulled out a black card and asked, tell me, cash or card? Yet. Please follow me, young lady, we will create the most suitable perfume for you. Several shop assistants didn't give Misty any chance to resist and just grabbed her and walked away. Misty said in a panic, hey? Wait a minute, what's going on? It's just a custom perfume. I've helped Daisy and the others make custom perfume before, so Misty, just go ahead and relax. Don't talk so weird. Misty was then taken to a private room where a special staff helped her to customize her perfume. Ash then let Infernape out and asked the waitress for some incense for Infernape to smell. How do you feel, Infernape? Roar. Infernape shook his head. Seeing that Infernape didn't like it, Ash changed it. Finally, after trying many kinds of incense, Infernape finally found one that satisfied him. Seeing Infernape calmed down with the help of incense, Ash said, Infernape, I'm going to teach you something next. Remember it carefully, okay? Roar. Infernape, who was no longer in a rage mood, looked at Ash calmly and nodded, then listened to Ash's narration, while Meowth turned on the soundproofing device to prevent it from being leaked. After Ash taught Infernape the deep breathing method, a girl in a kimono came over. You're still so gentle towards your Poké copyright Monday, Ash. Ash looked at the kimono girl and couldn't help but ask, Alagia, is this clothing from the Chengdu region? Yeah, how about it, isn't it? Erica turned around, and Ash nodded and said, it's okay, but I like Cheongsam more. I shouldn't have asked you. Forget it. You are here to buy goods. I have asked someone to deliver the goods. Please check them and see if they are what you need. Well, thank you very much. Then Ash picked up the flowers one by one and started smelling them under the indifferent gazes of the female shop assistants and Erica. Here, give me more. This one can be a little less. This one. I want as much as you have. Ash called out the names one by one, while the female clerk beside him recorded Ash's requests. The girl next to Erica couldn't help but say, pharmacists are so hardworking. And Erica nodded in agreement and said, yes, after all, he needs to carefully identify the flowers and herbs. It's really hard for him to come to Rainbow City. The recent mixed perfume is his least favorite type. Chapter 75. Erica couldn't really say anything wrong about Ash not liking some perfumes. Ash didn't like mixed perfumes, which were made using industrial methods and were a torture for Ash's nose that specialized in smelling medicinal herbs. Ash liked the perfumes made from plant extracts from Erica's shop, at least those plant scents were much better than mixed industrial perfumes. Okay, you can buy all these herbs. I'll ask you to prepare more later. After finally confirming the materials he needed, Ash took the document handed over by a female clerk and signed it. Speaking of which, isn't Joy's family responsible for purchasing medicinal materials in normal? Why did you come here in person this time? Seeing that Xiaolu had finished his work, Erica asked her own questions. Ash said helplessly, this batch is for me to make a new potion, so I need to come here in person. It just so happens that I'm starting to travel, so I can get it while I'm here. When she heard Ash talking about traveling, Erica couldn't help but ask, so you want to challenge my rainbow gym? Well, I will challenge you later. Wait a minute. I'm not a suspicious person. Really? Believe me. Just as the two were talking, there was a sound of uproar outside the perfume shop, and then Ash and Erica saw a group of policemen escorting a man away. I just want to buy perfume. Humph. We've been watching you for quite some time. You pervert, you've been clinging to the window. Don't think we can't see you. Let's go. I am innocent. Really? The pervert was taken away under the escort of a group of police officers, and Ash always felt that the voice was familiar. It's so scary, there's another pervert in Rainbow City. Erica covered her mouth in fear, while Ash said speechlessly, come on, don't you have gloom? If she lets off some stinky odor, I don't think any pervert would dare to approach you. Shouldn't you say I'll protect you at this time? I protect my wives. Ash said this with a dignified look on his face, but Erica looked like hitting him. Just when Erica was speechless, Misty finally came out with a custom-made perfume in her hand. Swipe the card. Erica was too lazy to complain about Ash's mega-rich face, but Misty was a little overwhelmed. After all, this custom perfume was very expensive. Seeing Misty like this, Ash comforted her and said, don't worry, the last thing I lack is money. Request flowers. But... okay, that's it. To be honest, I don't like the smell of industrial perfume, so I asked them to customize it for you. As a pharmacist, my nose is very precious. Seeing Ash's tough attitude, Misty could only accept the present with a blushing face. Thank you, Ash. I said I did it for my own nose, so let's go to the Rainbow Gym now. Erica is here too. Zero. After hearing what Ash said, Misty noticed that it was Erica who had been looking at her with interest. Ah. Hello, I'm Misty, Ash's companion. Hello, I'm the owner of the Rainbow Gym in Arika. I see, you are Misty from the Cerulean Gym. Hey? How did you know? Of course it's your sisters who said that. Let's go to my Rainbow Gym and I'll tell you to ignore that guy who needs to wear a mask when he goes out. Erika had already pulled Misty out, and Ash also put on a mask and said, it's just right, I'm going to go look for Xiao Gang, he hasn't come yet, I hope he hasn't been arrested. Thinking about the pervert who was pushed away before in the familiar voice, Ash realized that it was very likely that Xiao Gang was the pervert. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you are notified of future uploads. You can find the next parts in the playlist visible on the screen or on my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.